at the Y. Our registrations for youth swim, that's all open. Everybody can jump on that, sign their kids up for swim lessons, build their water skills. And then we have our basketball registrations open right now until November 1st for grades pre-K through 6.
For more information or to sign your child up, go to alymca.org. The Auburn-Lewiston YMCA is proud to support local high school athletics.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center, Central Maine Orthopedics, OA Centers for Orthopedics, all play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Welcome back to the B-List Daily from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners Studios. Fourth quarter, we'll hear from Dave Sterling and Bruce Nicholas coming up. Right now, we're going to talk to the head football coach of the Wyndham Football Eagles. Matt Perkins joins us this morning. Coach, everybody survived? Everybody's got power? Everybody's good? Focused? Ready to go for tonight?
We're back at it. Yeah, we're ready.
Let's talk a little bit about last week's game. Just touch on that a little bit. I thought you guys really started to figure it out in the second half. Did you guys just do anything differently at halftime to make some adjustments to come out in the second half and take that lead, or just a matter of grinding at it and making it happen?
Well, we felt really good defensively. We didn't feel like we were giving up, anything big. We realized what they were doing early. They were, going into the boundary on us, and so we made a few adjustments. But we have lately, we felt like we have a really good bead on them and what they're trying to do on offense. And as long as we tackle, play physical, we felt we could take care of it on that side. And then offensively, we had a couple injuries, and we had two guys that have never played varsity football before have to go in and play offensive line against some of those big boys from Chevrolet. But we felt pass game wise that if we could protect, there was a lot of seams there.
Talking with Matt Perkins, the head football coach of the Wyndham Eagles.
Coach, your team is a veteran of playoff football in this state. Do you think that's an advantage, having been in the playoffs in the past?
I don't know. I hear people talk about that a lot. To be honest with you, I think it helps coaching-wise just because you know the little things and how you've lost a game because of one play or won a game because of one special team play or whatever. And I think it just forces you as a coach to work even harder and to really hit all the details a little more. I think maybe with the kids, it's maybe a comfort thing of like, yeah, we are in the playoffs a lot and we do okay. So I don't know. I don't know if 16, 17, 18-year-old kid has a veteran piece that helps them in the playoffs. I don't know.
Talking with Wyndham head football coach Matt Perkins. Some shuffling on that line, I assume. Tanner Grover didn't look like he was doing too hot last week coming off the field. That's a big loss for you guys, figuratively and just in terms of talent.
Yeah, we had some guys really step up. We had, like I said, a couple sophomores that never even touched the field, and it was hilarious after the game. One of them says, "I didn't think I was going to touch the field." I said, "Well, neither did I." It makes two of us. It wasn't a plan. But, no, we've had a really good week, and, so makes them move the puzzle around a little bit, but feel really good going into this.
Matt, that's a good credit to you and your staff when a kid who, hasn't had much of an opportunity for whatever reason to play, and then he gets a chance to go in, and you guys win. We used to say for every couple of sophomores you play, you lose a game. That kind of thing. That used to be the old adage. So, again, I think that must mean you guys have done a good job to get them all ready, because you really never know who's going to go in.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so unpredictable, and especially in the season, as you know, you just never know what's going to happen and who goes down and whatever. And so it was huge for those guys to step up, and I think that's some of the goodness of having a staff that's been together a long time and knowing exactly how we do things. So we quickly had all hands on deck on how we're going to adjust and what we can do. So that was really helpful.
Matt, I've told the story a couple of times about being a sophomore at Maine, and the first game, I've got headphones on listening to what the play call is, but I'm just leaning against the table there on the sideline, writing down what the play is and whatever, and not expecting. I stayed up late the night before. I wasn't expecting to be in the game, and all of a sudden they're yelling, "Wing, get in there." I couldn't find my helmet. I didn't have it under my arm or on the table. One of the coachmen over saying, "Where's your helmet?" This is in college. And they're like, "It's here somewhere. Hold on, everybody."
God, you're Thurman Thomas at the Super Bowl against the Redskins.
Hold on now, everybody.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, it doesn't escape you.
That's right.
You just never know.
Unbelievable. Let's talk a little bit about this Edward Little game coming up tonight. Of course, you just saw these guys a couple of weeks ago, so I can't imagine a ton of things have changed since then. Does that give you any type of advantage looking back at film and looking at things that you were able to do a few weeks ago against them?
No, I think it's a comfort level. We're going back up there tonight where we just were. A lot of kids had never been there. They probably thought we were in Canada. So it's a good comfort level for them. And at the end of that game is when we started to flip the switch a little bit, like saying, hey, we can play with these guys. And so I think that's another good reminder for them, and it really gave us a chance to look at some of the things they did well and some of the things that we didn't do well. So, and of course, they had a bye week, so they had plenty of time to, hopefully they worked on Chevrolet and not us.
Yeah, that's what you're always rooting for. When you're doing a bye week, Coach, because I know you've had them before, what is your structure on a bye week? How do you usually work it?
I always try to treat it like preseason and the things that we have, those drills that we haven't done in a long time, and those situations that maybe haven't come up during the season, but you want to prepare for them, whether it's punting on the other team's 40 and trying to pin them, how different things you may do, and whether you're snapping the ball and you're up by 6 and you want to just snap it out of bounds. Just little things that you don't get a chance to do during the year.
Talking with Matt Perkins, he's the head football coach of the Wyndham Eagles. They'll be in action tonight on Maine's Big Z 92.7 and on Sports Time 780. We'll also have the Spectrum Spotlight there as well, with video highlights to take you inside the game and post-game player of the game interviews as well. Coach, hopefully we're talking to you next week.
I hope so.
You have a good one tonight, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you much.
Take care, Coach.
That's
Bye.
Matt Perkins, the head football coach of the Wyndham Eagles.
They've all said the same thing. Both Lewiston and EL coaches said, went back to basics, just like preseason. It's a proven formula. Go back and go over the things you don't get a chance to do during a busy practice week. It's like baseball. They bunt and practice covering the bases during spring training, and then they forget about it.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Talking about the Auburn Lewiston YMCA with Brittany Chick-Rennie. Brittany, what's going on over at the Y?
We have a lot of exciting things happening at the Y. Our registrations for youth swim, that's all open. Everybody can jump on that, sign their kids up for swim lessons, build their water skills. And then we have our basketball registrations open right now until November 1st for grades pre-K through 6.
For more information or to sign your child up, go to alymca.org. The Auburn Lewiston YMCA is proud to support local high school athletics. Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Welcome back. It's Avila's Daily from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners studios across the MBR radio network. It's Thursday at 11:30, so you know what time it is. Not to sound like Isaiah Thomas, but I guess I will in that aspect of things. Michael Hoffer from The Forecaster joins us. You can follow him on Twitter, FORE Sports. One thing that we will not be doing this week is doing our Patriots weekly prediction because the Patriots on a bye week this week. I feel lost a little bit without that, knowing that that's coming at the end here, Michael. I feel a little torn up.
Well, one thing I can guarantee you is I won't get it wrong this week. So at least I've got that going for me.
Well, which is always a good news. We will, however, talk about the Jimmy Garoppolo thing at the end of this. I want to definitely get your take.
That's a must.
That's a thing. That's a hot button issue this week for folks.
I would think so. Yes.
Yarmouth boys with a great win yesterday. They're going to be moving on to the state championship this weekend. Also, Scarborough girls. Let's talk a little bit about some of the soccer finals, the regional finals that just wrapped up, and the state finals will be happening on Saturday.
Yeah, well, they actually haven't completely wrapped up because the Yarmouth and Cape girls play this afternoon. That's the last of the regional finals. That's because weather forced the Cape girls to play Tuesday instead of Saturday, and they gave them an extra day off. So not completely finished, but almost there, and some exciting games. Maybe the most dramatic was Portland boys beating Gorham in PKs last night. Portland will play Lewiston in the state game Saturday, and the Bulldogs have a chance to win states for the first time ever. So very cool story there. The Yarmouth boys keep on keeping on. They have a chance to go 4 in a row Saturday, something they've never done, and something only the Scarborough and Falmouth boys have done before in the large schools. So a chance to make history there. Scarborough girls keep on winning. They look terrific. They're going to be very tough to beat, although I know Camden Hills is very strong. So should have some great state games on Saturday.
Sounds like it. Now, how do you make the decision of where you go when this stuff is spread out like this? These are the decisions that I always struggle with when it comes to baseball, softball time in the spring, because you've got Lewiston, Portland, which I think is going to be a phenomenal game, but that's all the way up in Hamden. It's not like you can just leave that one and slide by, to the next one. How do you make that decision logistically for you? Because I know you're kind of a one-man band with the coverage.
Well, I'm actually the scheduling gods have been smiling on me recently with the weather separating some of these games this week. But Saturday, Portland plays up in Hamden at 10, and then I've got 2 games down here at 3 and 5. So I actually can cover all 3. Get down here for the Yarmouth boys game, and then whether the Yarmouth or Cape girls win, they play at 5:30. So I actually will be able to attend 3 state soccer finals on Saturday, which I'm really excited about.
Excellent. Good timing on that. It's good.
No, it doesn't often work that way, and usually I'm beating my head against the wall because I do want to be 2 or 3 different places at once. But this time it worked in my favor, and I'm very excited about that.
High school football this Friday night here on the stations of Gleason Media. We're splitting up the Big Z on Friday night. Edward Little will battle Wyndham on 92.7 and Sports Time 780. Portland will take on Lewiston on 105.5 AM 1240. Big win for Wyndham last week against Cheverus. Looked like Cheverus had it, and then Wyndham just kind of took it away from him in the second half, is what it seemed like.
Well, that's like a broken record if you're a Cheverus fan. Wyndham has just been their nemesis here the last 4 or 5 years, with some dramatic playoff victories, some gut-wrenching playoff losses for Cheverus, if that's your perspective. So, when I saw that was a close game late, I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop based on history, and once again, Wyndham gets it done late, and Cheverus goes home. And here we are, in spite of everything that's happened this crazy season. Wyndham and Portland are 1 win away from beating in the regional final one more time, and no one would have thought that, and it certainly won't be easy for either team having to go on the road this week. But how crazy would that be if after everything you get another Wyndham-Portland regional final with the winner going on to the state game? Not inconceivable. I'm going to go to Lewiston tomorrow night. Looking forward to seeing the Bulldogs. It's been a few weeks since I've seen them. They hadn't even won a game yet the last time I covered them, and now here they are, really peaking at the right time, if you can say that. They're certainly playing their best ball. Teron Moss leading them to another big victory last week, and they're making some big plays on defense. They've really come a long way, and now they're going to have a tough test against a Lewiston team that took them to overtime here a few weeks ago.
Talking to Michael Hoff from the Forecaster. Well, I will be at the Lewiston game, so you're gonna have to come up into the booth, into the old Bates booth there. We're gonna take advantage of it. Yes. We'll take advantage of the hardwired internet there. I know I'll be on a schedule with you at halftime, but that'll be good. It'll be fine.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Looking forward to that. Cape Elizabeth hosting Freiburg this week as well. I know that's a game that a lot of folks are keeping their eye on because the winner of that one facing Gardner-Levitt in Class C South or Class C.
Right, you got Cape Elizabeth. They're really peaking at the right time. They beat Freiburg a few weeks ago. I saw that game, and honestly, they controlled that for the most part. Freiburg's had a great season, but I think they're going to have a tough time winning at Cape. And Cape for them, it's state title or bust, and I think they'd love nothing more than another shot at Levitt. And there's no guarantee that that's going to happen because it seems like Gardner's playing well, and they've been a very dangerous team all season. So that'll be an interesting game to keep an eye on as well. But if it is Cape and Levitt next week, that would be a terrific regional final. Caper's on the verge of giving their longtime coach Aaron Filio his 100th win, so a nice little sidebar to that one if Cape can win tomorrow night.
Yeah, that first Gardner-Levitt game was 19-7,
right?
But Levitt scored late, so I think I interviewed Mike this morning, and he's expecting that to be a pretty tough ball game.
Yeah, and he should, and he's certainly a savvy enough coach that he's not going to take anything for granted. And Gardner's just one of those teams. I think you have to discount their record completely and look at how tough they've played some of the top teams. And I don't think Levitt's going to be blindsided. They probably have enough talent to get through that round, but again, they're going to take them seriously, and I think they're going to get a battle.
Talking to Michael Hoffer from the Forecaster. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter for Sports, FORE Sports, as we're looking ahead to some of the games happening this weekend.
Michael, did you get to some of the volleyball tilts also?
I did. I was able to cover both state matches last week, and all the teams involved were from my coverage area. So it's been really a banner year for volleyball. Scarborough came on late and won Class A, but the best story was probably South Portland, a team that didn't even have a winning record. They'd never won a playoff match until this year. They got all the way to the state final this year. So. Wow. They were exciting, and then in Class B, had Cape Elizabeth finishing up an undefeated season. by beating Falmouth, so they were a great story too. Yeah, another banner year for volleyball. You know, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I hope it keeps spreading around the state because it's certainly become a very enjoyable sport to watch down here.
Well, it's funny because it's one of those sports that I don't think people anticipated it was going to get that big.
Right.
It just kind of was a throw-in thing, and I look at it the same way they look at the cheering competition. When it started, it was like, yeah, okay, cheering competition. Boy, at the end here, it's been, I mean, they fill wherever they're at. Augusta Civic Center, just full of fans. So I'm expecting that volleyball will continue to grow.
It's got a large following, and more kids play it. A lot of kids are playing it out of season with club teams, too, you know, with an eye on hoping to play in college. So the quality of play keeps getting better as well.
That seems like a sport I'd like. You know, I really get into the Olympics back when Jeff Stork was serving for them. I think in '88. I want to say the Seoul Olympics. So
there you go.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
I'd like to get into that hardcore. And also, I mean, one of the bigger reasons I'd like to get into it is because I don't have to worry about the weather with volleyball. I have no worries about weather.
Absolutely.
You just go inside, and it's there, and you don't have to worry about it. And we don't have games like the 2009 Chevrolet Wyndham, Southern A title game, you know?
Yeah, no, I hear you, and there is something nice about being inside this time of year, and you know, of course, unless you'd rather go play it on the beach, Matt. Old Orchard's
there we go.
If you want to go play down there on the beach and have a big audience watch you do your thing.
Only if this is going to be done similarly to Top Gun when they do the beach, you know, unless it's.
Let's hope not. Actually,
yeah, let's hope probably maybe not the best thing for that. So that's that's fine. What coming off of Portland coming off that big win against Oxford Hills the other night, and with Moss with the ball in their hands, like how much has this team changed since the last time they faced Lewiston and beat them in overtime?
Well, I think the team that beat Lewiston in overtime is maybe the early incarnation of this team. I think Moss had really become the main guy on offense, and they were starting to really leave it up to him. And I think the defense, that was one of the first games that they really asserted themselves in a key situation. They had a key interception late. They couldn't win it in regulation, but then they got another interception in the overtime, and that led to the victory. So, that was obviously the turning point because up until then they had just had the one win at Bangor. So that was, their first, name recognition win, if you will, and that, propelled them, secured a playoff spot for them. And I think it taught Portland that, whatever our record is, we know we can beat anyone anywhere. And, that right now they're just riding that wave. And, if they win it again this week, regardless of where they go next week, they're going to be very confident again. So they're a dangerous team. And, you hate to see a team that started 0-5 is a state championship game contender, but they really, really are.
We've been saying for a while now, we thought Northern A was up for grabs.
Yeah, it totally is, absolutely.
That Portland was not a 1-5 team and at the time, and we couldn't tell about Edward Little. Well, now, Lewiston put the whooping on him. So, again, I think it's wide open, and don't count Wyndham out. Now that they're getting more healthy, they know how to do this.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right with their playoff experience. There's nothing that compares to that. And I don't know. I think Edward Little losing in the finale might be the best thing that could have happened to them. A lot of teams just can't handle being undefeated going into the playoffs. And I'm a big advocate of not necessarily losing late in the season, but getting a close call. Sometimes the kids need a wake-up call, and they got it. So we'll see if they learn from it. And I think if they have, that might just spark them on a run all the way to the state final.
It's funny. I told Dave Sterling that last week when we interviewed. I said, "Hey, I'm convinced that it is a wake-up call, and it's just what those kids need." Now, would you rather it wasn't against your arch rival? Sure,
no, of course.
That would have been better. But again, I think they'll come out ready to play, and should be a good final couple games.
Yeah, no one likes to lose, obviously, but there are such things as good losses, and you see it at all levels of sports, certainly at the high school level.
Talking with Michael Hoffer from The Forecaster. So, are you surprised at this whole Jimmy Garoppolo thing? In what is the most surprising part of it to you?
Yeah, I am surprised. I didn't really think something would happen during the season. I think, last spring, it seemed like the Patriots, they had a lot more to choose from and could have gotten a lot more value for him, but they were adamant about keeping him. So honestly, I didn't really think anything was going to happen during the season. I thought they were going to do some kind of trade this week, maybe to upgrade the pass rush or or a tight end or something to that effect. I think pretty much everyone was blindsided. And you know what? In Bill, we trust. Honestly, if Brady goes down, they're not winning the Super Bowl anyway. I know Jimmy G was a terrific backup, but honestly, I don't think he would have led them to a title. So, I guess we'll see what happens. This is kind of getting the Deflategate pick back, if you think about it. It's almost essentially a late first-round pick. In a perfect world, they'll pick 32nd and 33rd. So,
yeah,
I don't know if it'll play out that way. But it would be great if it did, and I'm open-minded about it. I'm surprised they didn't get more. But how many times have we questioned Belichick and been wrong?
You see, thank you. That's the level-headed take I was looking for from folks, because I've seen stuff this week that, the most surprising part of this to me, conspiracy theory stuff that Big Kraft, Bob Kraft put the hammer down and we're not getting rid of Tom Brady and all this other crap. And honestly, I look at it and I just shake my head. I'm like, are we really at this point now? Like, to me, when I look back at the Belichick comments when he was asked about Garoppolo, I mean, he waxed poetic about Jimmy Garoppolo like he was his long-lost son.
I know. And the best one I heard is that Belichick didn't want to trade him to Cleveland because he's still mad at the Browns, but this is a different Browns organization than the one that they went to Baltimore. This isn't even the old Browns.
Oh, God. People don't know their history very well.
Not even a little.
No, clearly not. And it's just like the draft. Everyone thinks they have the answers the night it happens, and you look back 3 years later and you realize we knew nothing. So we'll see what happens. People were upset last year when they got rid of Jamie Collins. It didn't matter. Maybe Brady gets hurt in Week 11 and the fire comes in and stinks up the joint and the Pats miss the playoffs. There is that option, but, history suggests that they're going to be okay, and moving forward, it'll probably pay some dividends for the organization.
Michael Hoffer from The Forecaster joins us each and every Thursday at 11:30 to break down the high school sports scene and, of course, shares Patriots thoughts as well, because that's what we do here. We talk about whatever. Of course, if you missed any of this interview, you can catch it on demand after the show at mbrradio.com. Of course, he'll stop by tomorrow night at the booth. Yeah. We'll be there for Lewiston, Portland on 105.5 AM 1240. The video stream at mbr.org. Just subscribe to MBR Sport on YouTube, and you can be notified when we go live, and we'll be streaming that out in crystal clear 1080 HD.
Sweet.
So that's the plan. That's why we're there, because thank you, Bates, for having tremendous internet. I wish all the schools had that.
That'd be nice.
Yes, maybe someday. Maybe we can get some nice Stearns talk going tomorrow night, man.
If we could get that going, that would be good. Stearns basketball's right around the corner. If they get a volleyball program, watch out, man. We're all over
it. Look out, yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Michael. I'll talk to you next week, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Welcome in. We are live at Garcelon Field at Bates College. Matt Bountwell, Steve Flynn. It is the MBR Game of the Week from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Portland Bulldogs have won the toss. They have elected to kick off to the Lewiston Blue Devils. Lewiston Blue Devils totally in blue.
Color rush, maybe?
Yes. A little color rush on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Very
Looks like
similar.
it. Yeah.
If you're listening on the radio, it's the Hammond Lumber CMCC Game of the Week on 105.5 AM 1240 and mainsbigz.com. Video stream for this one, mbr.org. Subscribe to MBR Sport on YouTube. You can be notified when we go live. Last time these two teams met, Quinn Clark hit a 21-yard field goal in overtime. Portland Bulldogs won 17-14. Teron Moss was making his second career start at quarterback and ran for 158 yards in both Portland touchdowns.
touched the ball 31 times that night. They're not going to be able to control how many times he touches it, but they will be able to control how far he goes with it. Lewiston plays 8 in the box. They've played a pretty stout defense all year long. Coach Hartman knows exactly what he's up against here, and we'll see what he does creatively with Moss. A lot of options with him getting the ball every single down. First, it's going to be the Bulldog defense against the Devils offense.
Quentin Clark in shoes that you could walk through the woods in during hunting season because they would know you were not a deer. Kick away. I've seen everybody wearing their orange this week. That's why I say that. It's very pumpkin-y. Kick down to the 15-yard line, out to the 20, to the 30-yard line. Cut back down to the 31 and out of bounds. The 31-yard line will go Hunter Landry. And that is where the Lewiston Blue Devils will take over with 11:55 remaining here in the first quarter. No score. Just underway regional semifinals for Northern A here at Garzalon Field.
Cortez, the signal caller for Lewiston. He'll mix it up a little bit with Brock Belanger as well. Coach Nicholas will mix them depending on what the situation is, but a heavy rush attack. Look for a lot of Poussard, a lot of Landry, and Dominic Colon.
Tana Cortez in the pistol. And that's going to be a handoff to Poussard, and that was more than expected. Nathan Kapongo'd him back into the turf. Large loss there for the Blue Devils, second and long.
Kapongo listed at 6'5", 239 pounds. Not many linebackers that size. Good-sized kid, moves very well, and wrapped his arms around Poussard.
This team is somehow 3-6.
Yeah.
Best 3-6 team I've ever seen. Cortez back to pass, looking complete out to the 34-yard line. That is Jason Willis. Yippee-ki-yay. Second and 6.
Willis, one of the favorite targets in this passing offense for the Blue Devils. Doesn't matter if it's Belanger or Cortez delivering it. They're going to look for Willis down the field. He's a big target. Does a nice job getting open there. 6'2". Big area to throw to.
No score. First quarter. Opening drive for the Blue Devils, 3rd and 6. Cortez in the pistol. Poussard directly behind him. Play action pass. Cortez has a man open and it's incomplete. Thrown behind Medor. Lucky that it didn't get into the interception portion of the broadcast. And Lewiston will go 3 and out to start their playoff game here at Bates.
Had Medor about 12 yards down the field, had Belanger behind him. Both guys open, just wasn't able to get the ball out quick enough. And now the Bulldogs with an opportunity to get the ball back, or to get the ball for the first time.
It's like Cortez is going to now go back into the punt formation here. Low snap. Kick is away. It's going to be a line driver, and it is not going to take much of a Lewiston roll. It's going to go down to the 39-yard line. So now Teron Moss, the high-powered Portland offense, will head out to the field. No score, 10:27 remaining here in the first quarter.
I think that one of the tough things about scouting a kid like Teron Moss is the fact that he's getting better every single week. And what you might have saw on film from him 2 weeks ago, he's corrected that. What you might have seen on film from him last week, I believe he's corrected that. So it's going to be interesting to see how he develops here. Another playoff game for him as a signal caller. I look for a little bit more out of the passing game with the Bulldogs here.
Moss is in the pistol back at the 35-yard line. That's going to be a handoff, and that is going to go absolutely nowhere. Zach Elowich sandwiched into the turf, and that was number 44, Dominic Colon, on that.
Colon all over that run, doing a nice job getting up inside. Good block coverage there. I'll tell you, this athletic team for Lewiston, those same running backs, Colon, Poussard, and Landry do a nice job defensively. Landry in the secondary, Poussard and Colon at the linebacker spots.
Portland with trips to the near side right. Moss is going to fake the handoff, break a tackle, and he's going to get out past the 50, down to the 49-yard line, but you're going to get a holding penalty against the Portland Bulldogs, and that's going to bring that one back with 9:47 remaining in the first quarter. Opening drive for the Bulldogs here, no score.
You know, the last place that you want to have that penalty happen is right at the point of the run, right at the point of attack, and that's just what it was. It was the hold that actually freed up a block and allowed Moss to pump inside. That'll cost the Bulldogs 10 yards.
That'll move him back to the 31-yard line. It'll actually cost him more than that because they would have been at the 49-yard line without the hold.
Mm-hmm.
So now, those are the yards that don't get caught into it.
Nope.
Those are the mistakes that you look back on later and say, oh, happened behind the play as well. Moss back to the pistol. Elowich next to him on his left. Staying back at the 26-yard line. Moss is going to run it off to his left, and he is not going to gain much, if at all. He's going to get up to the 30-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 1. And it is going to be 3rd and almost 20 for the Bulldogs. 9:15, clock ticking in the first quarter, no score.
Strategy that you would typically see when you've got a talented quarterback, a kid like Moss, is you're going to spy one of your linebackers on him. So he's going to go where he goes, eyes on him, only mirror what he does. When you do that and you're playing 8 guys in the box, it opens up some rushing lanes. So you got to be very disciplined, stay in your lane, and pursue.
Moss back to the 25-yard line. Fakes the handoff, and he's going to get dragged down to the backfield again. Loss of 28 yards, and you're going to have a Portland Bulldog lineman down, limping off. That's number 57, Kikoa Farnsworth. He got rolled up on the left ankle. He's going to have to be kept an eye on. He came up limping. He's going to stay in the game, though. Tough kid. 4th and 20, 8:25 remaining in the first. Each team's exchanged 3 and outs. Low snap, high kick. That'll be fair caught at the 43-yard line. That is Landry, and the Blue Devils will take over. No score, 8:16 remaining in the first quarter.
Winning the game of field position here, and not doing much offensively in their first set, kicking the ball away, pushing Portland backwards, now getting the ball back for their second time, but in advance of how far they've been. So good field position here for the Blue Devils. See if they can create anything offensively in their second set.
Try to get your scores from other games from around the area. Of course, Edward Little is hosting Wyndham tonight. That one's over on 92.7 and Sports Time 780. If you were listening on the radio, if you're watching on video, we're the game in town. Cortez back to pass. Instead is going to run it and lose his footing back at the 42-yard line, loss of 1.
Didn't have anyone to hand it off to and didn't have very far to run. That's a bad combination of events right there for Cortez.
Seemed like a little bit of a communication breakdown, I guess you could say. Clock ticking here in the first quarter, 7:50 remaining, no score. Blue Devils coming off of a bye week. They beat Edward Little here 2 weeks ago. Cortez sends a man in motion. He's going to hand it off to Poussard. He's going to bounce around the right side, get a little running room. Over the 45, down the sidelines to the 50, and out of bounds in Portland territory at the 49-yard line. He's going to set up a 3rd and 4. That's a good sign if Poussard's able to get runs like that.
Using the biggest side of the football field, running away from us to the far side of the field, and really Poussard had a lot of options to try to cut up the field. Instead, just kind of gradually worked back towards that first down marker. Big pickup there. And I'll tell you, Garrett Poussard is a guy that's contributed to this offense for several years. He contributed as a sophomore and really has played a pivotal role here now as a senior, trying to bring his team down to Fitzy in a couple of weeks.
Cortez back to pass under pressure, throws it. Looked like there was going to be a holding call. There wasn't. Pass is incomplete. There was a fairly blatant holding call there back at the 45-yard line that wasn't called. And Portland at Lewiston looks like they're going to have to punt again. Not the offensive series you would want for the Blue Devils coming off of a bye week.
Neither offense right now developing any sort of rhythm, just kind of reaching around.
And now you're going to have a personal, looks like an unsportsmanlike from the other side as the back judge threw it from the backfield. That would have been the quickest.
It's going to be against Portland, I'm going to guess. Oh, yeah, they're too far onto the field.
Interesting that there was no warning for that. 14-play opening drive for Edward Little ends with a punt. Wyndham starts at their own 20 with 5:07 left in the first quarter. No score in that one. Wasn't unsportsmanlike, so probably the warning. Kick is away. That's going to take a Lewiston roll and a nice soccer play there. Little hacky sack action there from number 17, Sean O'Donnell. That's a good job keeping that out of the end zone.
Yeah, he did a heck of a job. Got his back towards the end zone, almost put his heels on that goal line and able to keep the ball in front of him and got Portland pinned deep in their own territory.
Seem to you like this is going to be one of those games that might be won with special teams and defensive touchdowns?
This was like a 6-3 game, 9-6 game, something like that. That's what it's shaping up to be anyway.
7:13 remaining in the first quarter. No score between Lewiston and Portland here on the Spectrum Healthcare Partners, from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. It is the game of the week on a Maine Athletic Fundraiser Football Friday. Elowich run up past the 5 over to the just about the line of scrimmage. Not going to gain much, if any. And Portland used to having some running lanes, not getting any here early.
It's not any football wizardry to say that turnovers are going to play a pivotal role in this game, but when you've got field position and you've got a battle like this that's mostly going to be ground and pound for both of these teams, you got to start thinking early about trying to strip a ball loose, especially deep in Portland territory here if you're Lewiston.
Moss looking to pass, now is going to run it out past the 10, almost lost it. They are really going for that ball with Moss, and he's going to get fired back inside the 5 down to the 3. We'll see where they mark the forward progress. I believe they're going to mark him at about the 8-yard line. That is going to set up a 3rd and 6.
And one of the things with Teron Moss is a lot of the runs that he's had success on this year have not been designed runs. So they haven't been off-tackle or gap-based runs. They've been maybe designed passes or designed rollouts where he hasn't had the option or he's faced the blitz and he's read it correctly and tucked and run. There's another case there where he's trying to create in the open space, but Lewiston doing just a fantastic job so far here early in the first quarter of containing the very talented quarterback.
Third and 9. Handoff, Elowich. She's going to bust it up the middle and get out past the 10, down to about the 12, about the 11-yard line. Gain of 2, 4th and 7. Portland will punt. Back to back, belly to belly on the 3 and outs for each squad.
Interesting. I mean, these two teams played a very tight match for 4 quarters. You mentioned Clark kicking the field goal in overtime. He missed a field goal in regulation that would have won it. And so these two teams very, very tightly contested.
That kick is not going to be a thing of beauty. It's going to go out of bounds at the 35. We'll see where the official marks it. I'm going to think he's going to mark that right around the 31-yard line. No, he's going to mark it at the 30.
No idea how they do that.
We'll never know.
We need to get clarification on that because there's some sort of system. I feel like they're all thinking about something when they're doing it. I don't know how you can tell from an oblique angle where a ball crosses a line. That seems like a very, very tough judgment call.
Actually, you know what? They're going to continue to mark it. They're going to mark it all the way up to the 26-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Lewiston Blue Devils at the Portland 26-yard line.
Okay. Again, winning.
Right.
How about this? 2 3 and outs, and this is how far you get the football.
Ron Belanger in at quarterback, which means he's going to run it. He bounces it to the outside, gets some running room out to the 25, and he's going to stay inbounds until he goes out of bounds inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Belanger, a kid that is very fast. They use him as a wide receiver. Don't use him as a tailback as much, but he will run the football as the signal caller, and it looks like they're going to stick with him here as the QB of their offense.
4:59 remaining in the first quarter. No score. Portland, Lewiston. 2nd and we'll make it 2nd and 3. The board says 2, but I'm going to say that's slightly generous.
Yeah, most likely.
Belanger with his feet at the 25-yard line sends a man in motion. That's going to be Whiting. He's going to hand it off to Poussard, and he's going to spin forward, but there's a flag down, and that's going to be holding in all likelihood.
Yeah.
Which will mean 2nd down will be replayed. Instead of it being 2nd and short, it's going to be 2nd and long with 4:51 remaining in the first quarter.
You generally don't want to grab a guy right by the shoulder pads, right around the neckline.
Directly in front of an official?
Right, and then haul him to the ground. That one's going to get called just about every time.
Frowned upon, typically.
There is technique that can be involved. You cannot hold, but you can use your hands. officials are right on top of it tonight. I think these two teams are so athletic that you can get a very physical contest early. I believe it's Lewiston that has taken a timeout.
And we will take a timeout as well. You are watching the Game of the Week.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Welcome back. Spectrum Healthcare Partners Studios. We're here at Garcelon Field on the campus of Bates College. No score between Lewiston and Portland. 2nd and 13 for the Lewiston Blue Devils at the Portland 29-yard line after the penalty. On the radio side of things, we're on 105.5 AM 1240. It's a Hammond Lumber CMCC Game of the Week. Matt Boutwell, Steve Flynn with you here.
Don't believe we've seen a first down yet.
No. Been close a couple of times. No dice. Belanger back to pass, looking into the end zone. Touchdown, but it's going to be an offensive pass interference.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. There was a lot of hand contact going back and forth between both of them, and it almost looked like Willis was trying to push him back, but I think they're going to call this offensive all the way. Yeah.
And they do. 6'2" senior Jason Willis gets called for offensive pass interference. Not something you see called at the high school level that often.
Well, you don't see a pass like that at the high school level a whole heck of a lot. Belanger threw that ball from about the 32, 33-yard line on the fly, about 2 yards short of that back pylon and right into the hands of Willis. It was a beautiful throw and catch. Willis just needed to use his hands on the ball and not on the defender.
That's going to move the ball all the way back to the 44-yard line. So a cool 2nd and 29 here for the Blue Devils. 4:45 remaining in the first quarter. No score. Belanger still in at quarterback. Nichols to the near side left. Belanger's going to roll it out. That pass is going to be incomplete. Intended for Whiting at the 39-yard line, just out of the hands. Looks like Lewiston has some good play designs and some good play calls, but they're just a hair off. They almost look a little bit rusty.
Yeah, well, I wondered whether or not they would benefit from not having that quarterfinal game. I mean, I really felt like they played their best game of the year against Edward Little in Week 8, and then having to come out a week away from competition. This Portland team having the benefit of playing a very tough team up at Oxford Hills. And so you wonder whether or not that rust gets knocked out a little bit here and Lewiston can come together with something. I'll tell you, Belanger looks pretty good at the quarterback position here. He is getting into open spaces, and there are opportunities there for the Blue Devils.
3rd and 29, Belanger back to pass. Nice block. He's going to throw it, and incomplete. Intended for Willis at the 32-yard line, and Lewiston is going to have to punt after 2 major Lewiston penalties. It snuffed out a promising drive that started at the Portland 26-yard line. 4:33 remaining in the first quarter, no score.
Yeah, they've gained more They've gained more yardage on defense than they have on offense. No doubt. Yeah. They really have. They've actually moved the ball closer to the goal line with their defensive unit than they have with the offensive side.
Cortez isn't there to punt. They'll see if they can get another solid field position situation. He's going to go back to the 43-yard line. Low snap. Kick is away. Lands at the 25-yard line. Bounces inside the 20 and down to the 18. Inside the red zone, however, not quite what you're looking for. 4:23 remaining in the first quarter. No score, Portland football. Moss in the offense comes onto the field. Road whites with the dark blue numbers and the dark blue helmets, Steve.
It's a bend but don't break type of an offense here if you're Moss. I think if you're Coach Hartman, you got to keep going with it, hoping that if Moss breaks 2 or 3 runs, that could be the difference in this game. 1 or 2 scores really could separate either one of these clubs.
Back to pass is Moss. He's looking. He throws. He has a man, and that's going to be incomplete. It was intended for Ben Stasium, and it was about 1.5 yards overthrown. Will Emerson is talking to his defensive backs and letting them know what they did on that assignment, what they did right or wrong.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Moss can throw the ball 50 yards. We just saw that. He just reached back and absolutely let that one rip. 55 anyway, on the fly in the air. He's got the arm strength to it. Whether or not the touch is there, he probably 60% of them he landed in pregame. I mean, no defensive guy, but again, remember, this is a quarterback playing his first year at the position.
Moss runs it off the left side, and he's going to get spun down, flipped over after a gain of 2. 3rd and 8. 4 minutes remaining here in the first quarter, no score.
I think Lewiston is doing a nice job of identifying when there is no run-pass option, when it's run only. And the second that Moss collects that ball and tucks it to his side, you're seeing these guys aggressively pursue him, 2, 3 guys at a time, getting to Moss to bring him down.
I believe someone has brought a tambourine.
Yes, I do believe I hear a tambourine man.
Play a song for me. Elowich up the middle to the 25, falls forward to the 26. Be 3 yards shy of a first down, and just like that, it'll be 4th and 3. And Portland once again, 3 and out.
How about that? 3 consecutive 3 and outs for both clubs. Still haven't seen either club achieve a fresh set of downs.
Kick is away. Landry's going to fair catch it at the 43-yard line. Once again, Lewiston in solid field position. We'll see if they can take advantage this time. No score, 3:09 remaining in the first quarter.
Starting to get the feel that this game, as much as I think it might be a closely contested match, it seems like these teams are right on the precipice of like when one score happens, all of a sudden it's going to open up this flurry of scoring. So let's just be open for that and ready.
Kind of reminds you of that Carolina-New England Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Remember, that was 6-3 at the half.
Yeah. A little bit different of a second half of football.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Changed up.
Pace is everything.
3:09 remaining in the first quarter. No score between Lewiston and Portland here on the Game of the Week. Cortez is back in at quarterback. He's going to hand it off to Poussard. He's going to get up to the line and gain not much, if anything. 2nd and 10.
I get a good feeling that Coach Rutherford and the defensive unit over on the Bulldogs side of the field have their eyes squarely put on 28 just as much as the Blue Devils have their eyes on Moss. I think that's the one guy that they're going to try to take out of the equation if they can. And he'll take this play off anyway.
End of the first Class C South football semis. Freiburg and Cape Elizabeth scoreless. Levitt Gardner also scoreless after one. No score between Wyndham and EL. 4th and 2 at the EL 28 for Wyndham. More on that in a minute. Pitch, Landry, 2nd and 11, flags down. Run out to the 49-yard line, but a flag by the back judge, flag by the line judge, and that's going to be another holding.
Yep.
And this is looking more like week 1 rather than week 2 of the playoffs.
Yeah, not the kind of play that you would expect out of either club in terms of staying disciplined on the offensive side of the ball. That we've seen penalties really cost any sort of offensive rhythm that either team has tried to develop, and here Lewiston no different.
.222 remaining in the first quarter, no score. Ball gets moved back, which has been happening a lot to the Lewiston offense tonight. Back to the 31-yard line. You wonder if they're going to continue alternating quarterbacks or if they're going to go to one if one gets hot.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see them stick with Cortez here. And Belanger seemed to have the hot hand. Seemed to find a few things that were working anyway.
That handoff is going to be to Landry. Up to the 35-yard line. Gain of 3. 3rd and 18. 2:10 remaining in the first quarter, no score. And this is, when you're talking about field position, Lewiston's had pretty decent field position all night. If not a great punt here, Portland might be flipping that field back the other way.
First time that we've seen Portland really push Lewiston backwards with their defensive unit, but again, we're seeing defenses win this game and offenses really struggle to get anything started at all.
Cortez in the shotgun. Belanger and Poussard next to him. Fakes the handoff. Actually, it's going to be Belanger who ends up with the football out to the 35. Starter steps to the 39-yard line. Gain of 4. Makes it 4th and 14, and with the 125 remaining, teams continue with the 3 and outs, another punt. If you like punts, this game is for you, my friend.
Wow. Yeah, if you are a fan of the punt.
If you like the defense and the special teams, you're in the right place.
This is it.
Tough, gritty football here in Northern A. No score.
Belanger went down awkwardly on that last reverse play. Looked like his right knee got twisted up.
Cortez is in the shotgun. He'll step back and punt it in just a moment. Trips to the far side right. One receiver to the near side left. Steps back inside the 30. Kick is away. Low line drive. Bounces. Takes a Lewiston roll. Now takes a Portland roll back to the 36-yard line. Portland will start with their best field position at their own 36-yard line. 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter. No score on the game of the week.
I am going to predict more passing. That's what I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess that Moss is going to try to throw the ball here, see if they can maybe get the ball out in the flat to somebody. Because handing it off to him and letting him go around the edge just isn't working.
Moss is going to hand that one off. That's going to be Stasium. He's going to wish he didn't get it handed off to him. He's going to get dropped back on the 33-yard line. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Probably one more play here in the first quarter.
Yeah. I'd say they'll get one more in. Only one timeout used so far in the first quarter, so.
According to the official timeout tracker.
Right. Timeout tracker in full effect.
10 seconds on the clock. Moss back to pass, looking, throws, incomplete. Was intended for Pasquale, was overthrown at the 35-yard line, and it will not be the last play of the first quarter. This punt will be the last play of the first quarter in all likelihood with 2 seconds remaining. Excuse me, no, 3rd and 13. It will not be a punt. It'll be 3rd down. I'm not trying to get them off the field yet, Portland fans. I apologize.
Pasquale had 2 defenders over the top of him when that ball came out of Moss's hand, and after it came out of his hand, he actually got behind the defensive unit. Moss showing a lot of trust in him.
Moss runs off to the left, cuts it back upfield, and he is going to get stopped just short of the 40-yard line. Elias Atkins was out there on some of that. That is going to wrap up that quarter. Also had a nice play there as well. Connor Kaplinger was out there on the tackle as well. And a one-quarter play. No score. Lewiston, Portland. It's the game of the week. We'll be right back in 1 minute.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center, Central Maine Orthopedics, OA Centers for Orthopedics, all play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care.
Welcome back. Second quarter action here on the game of the week. Punt is away from Portland. That's going to go out at the Lewiston 30-yard line. 11:51 remaining here in the first half. No score between Lewiston and Portland on the game of the week. On the radio side of things, from the CMCC Hammond, it's the CMCC Hammond Lumber game of the week on Maine's Big Z 927 Sports Time 780. On the video side of things, we're in the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. MBR Sport on YouTube. Get notified when we go live.
I can't imagine there's how many yards of offense either team has generated. I mean, it's got to be minimal.
I have not seen a lot of statistics for this.
Not a whole lot of gushing statistics.
A lot of penalties.
Yep.
There's been some penalties.
Plenty of statistics on that.
Cortez hands it off to Landry, finds some yardage. Don't see any flags yet until I do. Right there at the yard marker. Back at the 33-yard line and another penalty.
And it was at
Tell
the point of the
me
run.
if you've heard this one before.
We'll wait for the official call. Mr. White Hat is going to let us know.
Wyndham Eagles get on the board first against Edward Little, 7-0, 8:07 remaining in the first half over there.
Illegal block in the back.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's the fact that it's a penalty. Does it really matter that it's an illegal block in the back or it's a hold? It's a penalty. You're moving the wrong direction. I'll tell you this, these teams are going to have to mix it up a little bit and try to dig deeper into that offensive playbook because neither one getting any traction.
1st and 17. Handoff. Poussard's going to find some yardage. Bounces it to the outside, to the 25, to the 30, to the 31-yard line. And Moss hangs on just long enough to let Poussard know, hey, I could have let you rip there, but I didn't. Good sportsmanship.
Damn, Moss plays a heck of a safety and really identifies the run early, comes up and gets pursuit right away. It's been Poussard in pursuit of Moss, and now Moss in pursuit of Poussard.
Trevor Valaire with a 2-yard touchdown run for Wyndham to make it 7-0 over there.
Ooh.
Madison leads Winthrop Monmouth 14-0. Belanger in motion. Cortez back to pass, looking, throws. Incomplete. Not sure if he was looking for Belanger or Willis there. If he was looking for Belanger, he overthrew him. If he was looking for Willis, he underthrew him.
Either way, inadequate, right? I mean, that's not effective.
That's not what you're looking for there. It's tough, though, for a kid when you're looking. He's rolling to the right side, and then he's stopping and cutting back into the right. That's a tough throw for anybody to make.
Look, it's a tough play to ask a kid to do a 5-step drop in high school, straight back in the pocket, make a read, and deliver the ball down the field. Rolling adds another element to it that a lot of variables come into play.
3rd and 9. Play action. Willis, open, caught! Down the sidelines! Inside the 40 and out at the 33-yard line. What you talking about, Willis? First down, Lewiston. No flags.
Magno on the coverage that time, and instead of going for the tackle, he went for the ball, missed the ball. That let it land right into Willis's hands, and that's the biggest offensive play we've seen from either team. Nice job by Cortez to go back into the pocket. Nice 5-step drop, just settled 1 step to his right, delivered a nice ball off of his back foot. And a beautiful throw and catch. First time Portland able to take the ball into Portland territory, and first down we've seen them gain.
Willis is on the sidelines, and he's close enough to the sidelines where it's affecting play. So it looks like it'll be an injury timeout here. We'll take a break. We'll be right back here on the Game of the Week.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Welcome back. Willis helped off the field. Looking at his left arm shoulder thing.
Helped further off the field.
Far enough to where they can play now. And it was 11:04 remaining in the first half. Handoff. Poussard bounced it to the outside, cuts it upfield inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. He's 2nd and 6. That was a big play there that got them down into this position. Good catch by Willis, and a good job by him to stay inbounds. He caught that back at the 49-yard line.
Well, and look, Poussard is a big kid. He's 6'2", he weighs 200 pounds, and you don't see that a lot as a tailback at the high school level. And over time, these Portland kids are going to wear down from trying to tackle him. He's a big kid that carries a lot of speed and a lot of steam downhill.
Send Belanger out to the flat. Handoff is going to go to Landry up the middle. Down to the 26-yard line, just shy of the 25. That'll be enough for a Lewiston first down, ladies and gentlemen. Second first down of the game, second first down of the drive for Lewiston.
Boy, found something that worked that time. Really caught Portland off guard with the quick handoff that time. Landry hitting the gap just off the side of the center and really just right through the gut of the Bulldog defense.
Cortez stands back at the 30-yard line. Poussard to his left, Landry to his right, sends Belanger out to the near side right in motion. 9:59 remaining. Landry runs. Poussard gets the handoff and gets stood up at the line. No gain, maybe a loss of a half yard.
Didn't have anywhere to go. Big cluster of guys in front of him, and Portland doing a nice job plugging up the lanes.
MITRE USM summer camps are right around the corner. Find out more information today by going to the University of Southern Maine's athletic website. Get signed up for the courses and camps that you're looking for once they're available. 9:20 remaining here in the first half. Landry lost it, went back, ball's on the ground, and that's going to be Portland football. Nothing went right on that play for the Lewiston Blue Devils, and a promising drive ends with the ball on the turf. 9:14 remaining in the first half, no score. Portland, Lewiston, Portland football.
Just when it seems like Lewiston gaining some momentum, really moving the football, picked up a couple of first downs, looked like they had found a few things that were working. Instead, turning the football over, almost in the red zone, but now the Bulldogs with their first opportunity traveling in this direction here in the first half.
Moss back to pass. Instead is going to draw it, and he's going to hang that ball out there to the 30-yard line, gain of 4. Moss is going to have to be careful because he's carrying that thing, as the old saying goes, like a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Just shy of the 30-yard line, gain of just shy of 4 yards.
Out in the palm of his hands with both noses of the football exposed. That is dangerous. You typically want to cover up one nose of that football with your hand. Tuck the other nose of that football into your elbow, into the side of your body. That kind of locks it in. Instead, he's kind of floating it out there, and that is very, very dangerous.
And looks like I have a timeout taken by the Portland Bulldogs. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on the Game of the Week.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Welcome back. It's Game of the Week from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. The video stream can be found at mbr.org, MBR Sport on YouTube. Get notified when we go live. On the radio side of things, it's the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. 2nd and 6 for the Portland Bulldogs. 8:30 remaining in the first half, no score. Moss back to pass, under pressure, rolling to his right. Gets out to the 30 and just shy of the 33-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and about 3.
Once again, another design play that's a pass play. Moss stepping back into the pocket, looking down the football field, doesn't see anything, feels the pressure, and then trying to create an open space. Still a big gain for him, just not a designed run, and a really, really tough play to try to defend against because there's really no set purpose to it. Just him running to the open space.
Moss in the shotgun. Going to roll out to his right behind his blockers, and he's going to be right at the sticks. And it looks like it's going to be a first down. Or no, actually it's going to be just shy of a first down.
Just shy.
So it's going to be 4th and short.
Well, players are saying it looks like the nose of the football has got it. They
Looks
believe
like
it
there's
is.
going to be a measurement here.
All right, it won't be a long measurement. First down.
7:29 remaining on the first half. Lewiston, Portland, no score. Portland just got their first down.
How about that? Wow. 16 minutes into the game. 16 and a half minutes into the game.
That play is going to go nowhere. Lewiston thought they had it. Play was blown dead. And once again, a little bit of hijinks there. Moss getting his jersey getting redone. Talked to his offensive line about what happened on that one. Second and long.
Starting to get a little chippy inside, so we'll keep our eyes out for those dreaded personal foul penalties.
Of course, this is not going to be the first time Portland and Lewiston score off in an important game within 24 hours. In fact, during high school tomorrow, Lewiston boys soccer team takes on Portland boys soccer team. Lewiston, the home team, of course, down there tomorrow.
What a smart play, though, moving it from Hamden. I mean, just in general.
Makes sense. Back to pass. Moss looking incomplete. Intended for Pasquale. It was thrown a little bit behind him. Be 3rd and 10. 6:34 remaining in the first half.
Well, they're trying to go to the pass, Matty. They just don't have a whole lot of success with it. It's just a tough ask for this Bulldogs football club, and I wonder at what point do they try to pitch the ball out to the edge, try to move the ball out to the side a little bit outside of the tackle boxes, as opposed to trying to throw the ball down the field or run inside that tackle box. There's space out there that Lewiston's given them because they're pinching the middle. Portland's just not taking it.
3rd and 10. Moss in the shotgun, LOH next to him. Moss under pressure is going to have to get through all sorts of coverage, and he's going to run just to the 38-yard line, 4th and 7. Portland's going to have to punt after getting their first down. All sorts of pressure coming here from the Lewiston defense, Steve.
Well, at that time it was Dominic Colon that sprinted into the backfield. He got a clean shot in on Moss, forced Moss out of the pocket, and a nice job by Poussard and the other crew to wrap him up.
Punt is away. It bounces down the 25-yard line. 5:55 remaining in the first half. Lewiston and Portland have no score here at Garcelon Field. Winner of this one will face the winner of Wyndham and Edward Little next week.
Getting a couple updates from that game, Matty. Sounds like Edward Little having some of the same problems that the Lewiston Blue Devils squad is having in terms of the number of penalties. And that is affecting their ability to progress against that Wyndham football club.
Ryan Ross with an interception. Edward Little at midfield. 1:34 remaining there in the first half. Wyndham still leads 7-0. Cortez back to the 20-yard line in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off. Poussard gains 1 just through sheer will. 2nd and 9.
Looks like Coach Nicholas feels pretty comfortable with Cortez when he's on the Lewiston side of the 50. Seems like once they get in a little bit closer to the end zone, he feels a little bit more comfortable with Belanger. See whether or not Cortez goes back to Willis here. Does Willis come back out onto the field? Have we seen him?
I have not. In fact, I was just looking for him to be precise, and I don't see him on the sidelines. Handoff. Landry will gain nothing. He'll get taken back by number 40, Lewis Gaddis Jr., 6'1" junior to be precise. And it'll be 3rd and long for the Blue Devils. Not their strong suit.
No. Just don't have a whole lot that they can reach back to and go, especially without the favorite target, Willis.
Willis is actually still on the sidelines. I can see him now.
Yeah, I found him on the sidelines.
I do not. I'm going to say he's questionable to return.
I would say questionable.
At best. Cortez, play action pass. Under pressure, is going to run it. Cuts it up to the 25 and to the 29-yard line. Be well shy of a first down, and it'll be 4th and 5 for the Blue Devils, and they'll have to punt with 4:15 remaining here in the first half. And looked like they wanted to do a throwback there, Steve, and Portland completely diagnosed it.
Sniffed it out. They didn't take any of the play fake and really saw the back leak back into the backfield. Just didn't get fooled. When you try to run that play, if it gets sniffed out, man, it gets bad and bad quick. I think Cortez did a nice job saving it.
Cortez back inside the 20-yard line, low snap, and he's going to have to run it himself to the 30, and if he could stay in bounds, he's going to get a first down, and he does! It was not designed to be a fake punt. Cortez had a bad snap, had 3 Portland defenders going at him, and he runs down the right sidelines, more than enough for a first down. Maybe that's what the Blue Devils needed with a little bit of a break here with 3:46 remaining in the first half and a fresh set of downs.
Almost benefits from the fact that he had the amount of pressure that he had. Those 3 guys so deep into the backfield and right in Cortez's face. One fake, and they went by him, and he had a nice open lane to the first down marker, diving to get it. Heck of a play there from the senior.
Another good job by him as well to stay inbounds long enough to get the first down. 1st and 10. Cortez rolls out to his left, throws, has Poussard complete down to the 45-yard line. And it'll be 2nd and 3 for the Blue Devils.
Cortez only a junior, actually, not a senior. His dad, of course, a member of that 1987 state championship football team that played for Coach Skip Capone. And right now, Lewiston really picking up some momentum here. That punt, Matty, I think that could be a pivotal turning point in this football game.
We'll see what Lewiston does with it. So far, it's been penalties and turnovers here in the first half. Cortez, back to pass, looking, throws, has Belanger, and it's going to be picked off. Picked off by Vincent Pasquale, and he's going to fumble it. And we'll see who comes up with it.
Boy, I think Portland recovered it. To me, it looked like Stasium
Looks like
grabbed it.
Stasium was on it, but we'll see if he ended up with it. There were 3 other Blue Devils around there, and they're going to say it's Portland football. Cortez's pass got picked off. Pasquale read that one. He had Belanger open, but Pasquale stepped in front for the pick, and a big change momentum as it looked like Lewiston was finally starting to find their footing. Now Portland takes over at the Lewiston 41-yard line, 2:52 remaining in the first half.
The linebackers actually bit on the play-action pass, and really they stepped up, but Cortez just didn't deliver the ball quite quick enough. Took too much time, and Pasquale, eyes into the backfield, knew where that one was going, saw him targeting Belanger, and picked it off.
Moss hands it off to Pasquale, and he's going to get stood up at the line. Loss of 1. Telling you, defensive or special teams touchdowns probably going to be the difference in this one, because it looks like these offenses just are not able to get anything going against these defenses.
Well, and you'd like to say that it's the ineffectiveness of the offense, and I think there is some inefficiencies that we're seeing out there, but to me, it's just how fast and aggressive both of these defensive units are playing.
Moss, back at the 47-yard line, waits for the shotgun snap, looking to pass, throws, it's complete, and that is going to be complete to Elowich. He's going to get inside the 30 and down to the, right at the 30-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. Stops the clock, 2 or 3 remaining in the first half. Good play run there. Good play design by the Bulldogs.
Really, no coverage out on that right-hand side. Moss finding Elowich wide open and a couple of yards down the football field before any contact brought up against him. Nice job there by the Bulldogs in advancing the ball in Devils territory.
Under 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Moss back to pass in the shotgun, rolls out to his right. Now he's going to run it. Decides to run it down the sidelines inside the 25 and down to the 22-yard line. Stays inbound, clock running, 2nd and 2. And now you get a timeout call. That'll be a Portland timeout, I believe. That'd be the 2nd or 3rd timeout for the Portland Bulldogs.
Portland timeout.
Scores right now. Lawrence leads Brunswick 10-0 at the half. EL has its second and goal at the Wyndham 9 with 21 seconds left of the first half. No timeouts left for the Eddies in that one. In the first half, anyways.
Ooh. Had to correct some things.
Minute 33 remaining in the first half here. Portland driving, 2nd and 2.
Portland deferred the toss. Lewiston started with the football. So Portland will get the ball to start the second half. They also have the benefit of Quinn Clark, who is one of the, if not the most established field goal kicker here in the state. Very, very capable kid.
Moss is going to stand back at the 27-yard line. Keeping it here for the game of the week. Michael Hoffer will join us at halftime. Moss runs it himself, and he is going to get popped, but he's going to fall forward inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. Fresh set of downs, minute 26 remaining in the first half.
Portland seems to have found something with the rush attack that right now their offensive line doing a nice job getting off of the football, down the football field, and giving Moss some lanes to run in. The more space he has, the more effective he can be. Lewiston not able to get contact on him as early as they have been able to in the first quarter and through most of the second quarter.
Wyndham leads Edward Little at the half, 7-0. Wyndham with a defensive stand to end the first half. Moss under pressure, looking, throws, complete. That's going to be Pasquale, cuts it inside the 10 and down to the 5-yard line. First and goal for the Bulldogs, the minute 3 remaining in the first half. And maybe this Portland offense is going to be the first to pierce the end zone.
Rolling out on his left-hand side was Moss that time, and I'll tell you, Keegan Voss and Sean O'Donnell met at the same time, and Teron Moss was in the middle of their meeting and didn't really like to be the victim of their hit. Paid dearly for that pass, but did a nice job getting it out to Pasquale.
Portland spreads it out, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Elowich next to Moss. Hands it off to Elowich, and he's going to get taken down for nothing. Cologne back there. 43 seconds remaining in the first half. Timeout is called, and that will be Portland's final timeout. 43 seconds remaining here in the first half. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll be right back on the Game of the Week.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Welcome back. Game of the Week from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth here at Garcelon Field at Bates College. Lewiston and Portland are scoreless, but Portland looking to change that. Second and goal from the 7-yard line. Moss of the shotgun, Elowich next to him. Set a man in motion, that'll be Pasquale. They said Moss in motion into the end zone, incomplete. Pass was intended in the back corner for Elowich. Excuse me, it was intended for number 20. That is Griffin Foley. Incomplete. Good to see Foley back out there. He was injured for a little bit this year.
He was, and he was a favorite target of Moss when he first started off. Foley, a very capable kid in open space. Moss had an idea where he wanted to go with that one right from the jump. And my guess is they'll take another couple of shots here in the end zone.
Moss in the shotgun. Elowich next to him. Back to pass. Moss going to run it instead. Now he's going to cut it back to the other side of the field. Throws into the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Everybody thought he was going to run it. They peeled off of their man. That was into the end zone for Vincent Pasquale. 7-yard touchdown pass. And the Portland Bulldogs lead 6-0.
There's actually two guys standing there in the end zone, Matty, wide open, literally standing still with their arms up in the air. Moss probably could have run it in himself, or he could have thrown it to either guy. It's exactly, you made exactly the right call. Over pursuit. They really thought that Moss was going to try to create and take it in on his own. Instead, he delivers the touchdown pass.
30 seconds remaining in the first half, and Portland gets the ball to start the second half. High snap. Kick is up. Kick is good. Take a break. We'll be right back. 7-0 Portland here on the Game of the Week.
Welcome back. Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. It's Game of the Week on a Maine Athletic Fundraising Football Friday. Portland Bulldogs take the lead. Moss to Pasquale, 7-yard touchdown pass. 7-0. Bulldogs with the lead over Lewiston here. On the radio side of things, here on 105.5 AM 1240, it's a CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Lewiston back to receive. Only 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. Portland deferred in the first half, so they'll be getting the ball to start the second half. The sandwich possession here, will it be the death knell of a promising Lewiston season?
Onside kick here? Now would be a good time for it.
Be very aggressive. No timeouts, though, for Portland.
Yeah. Kick it away.
Maybe need a special teams play. Upback's going to fall on it back at the 42-yard line with 28 seconds remaining. Decent field position here for Lewiston. I believe they have all 3 timeouts?
2 timeouts.
2 timeouts.
2 timeouts according to the timeout tracker.
The official timeout
The official timeout tracker. And it's going to be Cortez. I thought for sure we'd see Belanger, but instead it's going to be all Cortez. I can't imagine they're going to be doing a whole lot of RPO, run pass option, or swing passes here. Got to try to go down the football field.
Cortez in the shotgun. Pitches it. Poussard to the outside. Cuts it upfield to the 40 and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. 22 seconds remaining in the first half, and it will be 2nd and 7.
I like that play call. I think that's one of the great runs that Poussard kid can pull off, rushing to the edge of the football field like that. Very, very tough to catch. Surprised we haven't seen more out of that at Lewiston. Both he and Landry, actually. And Landry's got just as much speed and can get to the edge.
Cortez pitches it to Landry, and he does go to the edge. Cuts it upfield, and he's going to bounce out of bounds on the Portland sidelines just past the first down marker up to the Portland 47-yard line. First down, 14 seconds remaining here in the first half. Lewiston trying to get down the field, try and at least take a shot at the end zone or take a shot at scoring here before the end of the half.
My guess is that maybe run one more play and then try to take a shot at the end zone. I wonder where you got a couple of timeouts here if you can't use the middle of the football field. At Portland playing off coverage, they're giving them a good 15-yard cushion anyway, 10 yards.
Poussard on the run, thought about throwing it, and is going to get knocked down at the 40, and Lewiston's going to take a timeout. That'll be just shy of a first down, 2nd and 3, actually. 6 seconds remaining in the first half.
So now they got to take a shot, you know? You're not going to run a draw here and get into the end zone or a sweep play. You've got to try to get the ball up in the air and see if you can't have one of your big guys go up and get it.
And the wind, by the way, is picked up. Much like business.
Yeah, rumor is it's not exactly a kind night weather-wise over at Walton Field either.
Cape Elizabeth leads Freiburg 6-0 at the half. Mountain Valley leads Wells 23-6 at the half. Levitt and Gardner scoreless at the half. Gardner is on their backup quarterback as sophomores. Their starter got hurt on the second drive of the game. Cortez back there. He's got Noah Adamson next to him. Poussard directly behind him. 6 seconds remaining in the first half. 2nd and 3. Cortez looking, back to pass, under pressure. Rolls out, throws, down into the end zone, and way out of bounds, incomplete. That was intended for Davion Jackson, and that is going to end the first half, I believe.
I do believe we've got a penalty.
Where is the penalty?
No, I think it's going to be on Portland.
Oh. Roughing the passer. Interesting. Let's see what this does. See if this affects anything. That's going to move the ball from the 37 down to the 25.
Yep.
Excuse me, from the 40 to the 25.
So now he can definitely get it in the
One
end zone.
untimed down.
Yep.
Ah, yes, the untimed down. 7-0, Portland with a lead. Untimed down here for Lewiston after the personal foul. Tough to tell if there's a flag down or just leaves.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the delay might be.
Not really sure. I think they're trying to make sure that it's not after the play was done, or it wasn't a dead ball foul. Or Lewiston took a timeout.
Yeah, you know what? That might exactly be what it is. They had one, so why not use it?
Cortez in the shotgun. He's going to be back at the 30-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side right. Back to pass. He's going to be under pressure. He's going to have to throw that thing up into the end zone. Incomplete. And again, too close to the sidelines. That's batted away. Lewiston look like they need a bye week from their bye week. End of the first half. Portland 7, Lewiston nothing. You're watching and listening to the game of the week. We'll be back.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Talking about the Auburn Lewiston YMCA with Brittany Chick-Rennie. Brittany, what's going on over at the Y?
We have a lot of exciting things happening at the Y. Our registrations for youth swim, that's all open. Everybody can jump on that, sign their kids up for swim lessons, build their water skills. And then we have our basketball registrations open right now until November 1st for grades pre-K through 6.
For more information or to sign your child up, go to alymca.org. The Auburn Lewiston YMCA is proud to support local high school athletics.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Welcome back. Halftime here in the game of the week. 7-0 Portland with the lead over Lewiston. We're live on 105.5 at AM 1240. Also at mainsbigz.com. Video stream from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. You can find that at mbr.org. MBR Sport on YouTube as we go live. Portland leads Lewiston 7-0. Teron Moss, Vinny Pasquale, 7-yard touchdown pass. And the American flag out there has seen better days with this wind, Steve. This wind has picked up quickly since the first quarter, and I believe whoever is going to be able to control the ground game in the second half probably going to be able to win this football game.
Yeah, the wind has picked up and the temperature has gone down, remarkably so.
Trying to leave that semi-open for Hoffer. I don't know if he knows we're here or not. I also don't know if that thing's going to even stay because I believe we've got a small tornado sliding in at this point. Good times.
So this may not work, but we're going to try it.
We'll give it a shot. We'll give it a peek. Give it a little happening. Lewiston just has not looked on track since the start of this football game, and every time they've gotten on track, a mistake has come back to happen. They've had 2 turnovers and multiple penalties that have snuffed out many a promising play.
Really, just no rhythm. Just nothing that's been put together consistently for even consecutive plays. We've seen either team able to gain a couple of first downs, but outside of the big pass that Lewiston had to Willis and one big play there from Portland and, of course, their touchdown score, even Lewiston making it really, really tough for Lewiston to score. But keying definitely on Moss, and you wonder whether or not Coach Hartman might use that a little bit more to his advantage in the second half, given the fact that Lewiston is so deeply over pursuing the quarterback.
See what happens here in the second half. Poussard had some runs and had some good runs to the outside. Maybe Landry out in space. Looked like towards the end of the first half as well, they were having Poussard kind of run with the option of throwing it if you saw something as well. So you wonder if you see a little bit more of that in the second half.
Well, that really does a nice job of keeping the secondary away from over pursuing the line of scrimmage. So pushing off guys like Moss and Knopp who are out there really trying to over pursue the run, and the secondary is jumping up, trying to help in some of that rush defense. If you have the potential for that pass option, they're going to have to respect it and stay back.
It is the game of the week from Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth on MBR.org, YouTube, MBR Sport. Get notified when we go live. At the half, Wyndham leads Edward Little 7-0 over on 92.7 and Sports Time 780. Game of the week over here, CMCC Hammond Lumber. Game of the week 7-0 Portland over Lewiston.
I forget how far back the stat goes. I want to say it goes back 40 or 50 years, but I believe that at least one of the teams that's played in the state championship game had a bye. You figure if both games ended right now, both teams that had a bye here in A North go down. Interesting.
Very interesting.
History says one of these two teams gets to the game next week, Lewiston or Edward Little. We shall see.
We shall see. If Edward Little wins, the game will be at Edward Little next week. If Edward Little doesn't win, it all depends on what happens here.
It all depends on what happens here.
Could be Lewiston. The only place I can tell you we will not be next week, we will not be at Fitzpatrick Stadium next week because the Portland Bulldogs cannot host the football game. But
Correct.
It'll either be Wyndham, Lewiston, or Edward Little. We'll be there next week.
We have our date
Love it, maybe.
We've got our date with Fitzpatrick set.
Yeah.
We'll be there soon.
Yeah,
enough.
we'll be there in just a couple of weeks. It is the game of the week from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. We'll take a break, and we will be back.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center, Central Maine Orthopedics, OA Centers for Orthopedics, all play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Halftime here at Gosh Lawn Field at Bates College. Portland leads Lewiston 7-0 at the half. It's the MBR Game of the Week from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. On the radio side of things, it's the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 105.5 AM 1240 Maine's Big Z. Michael Hoffer from the Forecaster joins us now, and just like we drew it up, Michael, take a bye week, and then you don't score in the first half, right? Everybody's well rested, sharp, ready to go, and nothing happens offensively.
Well, yeah, I think if you're Lewiston, you got to be frustrated because they had a couple possessions where they had great field position, and they really had the opportunity to get on the board and get the jump. And this is the kind of game that the team that scores first has a huge advantage. You always want to score first, but I think on a night like this, it would have been a big advantage for them. And then Portland comes down. It looked like Lewiston had the sack on Moss there on the right side. He gets out of it, the shirt tail, gets free, and then he finds Pasquale wide open for the touchdown. So Portland's big-name players are stepping up here, and I think their big-game experience might be showing a little bit. Even though there's a lot of new faces and new names, some of these kids played in big games the last couple of years, including Vinny Pasquale. So Portland, you couldn't ask for anything better, I guess, if you're the Bulldogs right now. And as the wind picks up, I think it's going to be even more difficult to move the ball in the second half.
Yeah, how have the conditions on the field gone? Because I'm seeing a lot more leaves flying by than I was in the first quarter.
Yes, and that's not just Mother Nature. It's certainly the leaves falling and getting blown all over the place. And as the evening has gone on, it's definitely picked up, and it's definitely gotten more noticeable, and it's getting more chilly. And not that either of these teams wings the ball up and down the field as it is, but I think it's going to really limit the passing game even more. And Portland's done a great job limiting Lewiston's running ability. So I think the Blue Devils are going to have to make a play on defense, on special teams, or hope they can break one somewhere. And I think if you're Portland, you can get the ball here to start the second half and maybe put up a second touchdown. That's going to be maybe not insurmountable, but certainly a healthy lead.
Lewiston certainly had their chances.
Right.
They had a play where Landry fumbled the ball. Also had a play where Cortez got picked off. So every time Lewiston has gotten anything going, seems to have gone okay. And then, as you mentioned as well, the penalties. As soon as something was going, it turned out to be a penalty. Sometimes the holding was behind the play.
This was like a bad Thursday night NFL game to start.
Right,
all we had were punts and penalties, and I think both teams have kind of settled in now and are doing better. So, we'll see who can impose their will in the second half. Like I said, I think if you're Portland and you get another score, you're going to be in great shape. And if you're Lewiston, you just got to do something positive on offense because there's been so little to hang your hat on at this point.
What do you think Portland starts off with on their opening drive here in the second half? I think this opening drive in the second half is crucial because, as you just mentioned, if Portland goes up by 2 scores, it's going to be real tough for Lewiston to come back on this.
Well, you're going to, it's no secret. They're going to keep the ball in Moss's hands. They've handed it off to Elowich a few times, and he hasn't really been able to do much of anything. I did like what Portland did on their last offensive series with a couple of quick hitters to the running backs, the quick passes to them out of the backfield, and instead of handing it off, throwing it to Pasquale or Elowich, giving them a little head of steam, and that gave them 10, 12 yards at a time. So maybe that's the approach. They did try a couple of long passes down the field early in the game that Moss overthrew receivers. But I think they'll keep it in Moss's hands as much as possible, and we'll see if they can connect on a few short passes. But you'll probably see number 4 with the ball for the most part.
Scores from around the area. Scarborough up on Stanford 40-0. A lot of the Scarborough kids didn't have power this week. They're pretty mad about it.
Yeah, I'm sure they're fired up about it. And they talk about a bye. That's a team that enjoyed having a week off, apparently.
Portland only has 68 yards of total offense in the first half. By the way, Falmouth leads in their game 19-14 over Kennebunk.
Yeah, that's the game that I thought if you're going to see an upset, it might be them. And just because they're so explosive offensively, Jack Bryant's as good a quarterback as you'll find around here. That first game, Kennebunk won 51-34, but Falmouth put up points. And obviously they're doing a better job keeping Kennebunk off the board tonight. So we'll see if that scores holds. That would be a seismic upset.
Marshwood knocks off Greeley 45-19. They'll host the winner of that Kennebunk-Falmouth game next week.
Yep.
Other scores from around the area. Wyndham leads Edward Little 7-0 at the half. Cape Elizabeth is has the lead over Freiburg, I believe.
Yeah, just 6-0.
6-0.
Right.
And Gardner and Levitt, they are tied.
Scoreless. Yeah.
Scoreless at the half. Gardner down to their sophomore backup quarterback.
Yeah,
so.
But they're hanging tough like they have all season.
Certainly have. Michael, what's up? You must be excited. You don't have to go up to Hamden tomorrow.
I am excited. Nothing against the good folks of Hamden. I would have been happy to go up there, but I have all the games in Portland for this soccer state final, so I'm looking forward to having 4 games in one location tomorrow.
All right, Michael, I'll let you get down on the field and warm up.
All right.
Thank you very much.
As always.
Michael Hoffer from The Forecaster. You can follow him on Twitter, 4Sports. Thank you, sir.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on the Game of the Week.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Welcome back. Third quarter action about to get underway here at Garcelon Field on the campus of Bates College. Portland will be getting the ball here to start the second half. They lead Lewiston 7-0 on the Game of the Week from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. MBR Sport on YouTube. Be notified when we go live. Find the game online or on demand at mbr.org or mbrradio.com. Radio side of things, we're on 105.5 AM 1240 Maine's Big Z. It's the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Portland with a 7-yard touchdown pass from Teron Moss to Vinny Pasquale late in the first half leads Lewiston 7-0. Portland won the opening kickoff. They deferred. They get the ball to start the second half. Matt Boutwell, Steve Flynn with you here. Michael Hoffer from the Forecaster joined us at halftime.
Stats from halftime, really it's two stat lines. Teron Moss has about 30 yards rushing, and Pasquale's got 30 yards receiving, an interception, and a touchdown. That's about it on either side.
68 yards of total offense for the Portland Bulldogs.
Not much.
Teams look like they're ready to go.
I tell you, the wind picked up at halftime, Maddie, so it's going to ball control is going to be critical here in the second half. Passing is going to be very difficult because the wind is just getting stronger and stronger.
Absolutely crucial series here for both squads. I think if Portland can get a touchdown here, they can comfortably do what they need to do in the second half. I think Lewiston really needs to try to force a turnover here. I'm sure they already know that, Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
But they also need to get a quick stop here and regain that battle of field position that they were winning.
Well, and I think a score early is critical in terms of putting pressure back on the Bulldogs. I think the Bulldogs feel very comfortable with a 7-point lead here, and they'll play very comfortably with that single touchdown lead if Lewiston can't generate much offense.
Whiting will kick it off for Lewiston. Back deep will be Pasquale and Stasium. Kick is away. Short, stubby kick. That's going to be handled by one of the upbacks. It's number 24, Zach Elowich. He's going to get up to the 37-yard line. Solid field position for Portland here. Just underway in the third quarter. They lead 7-0 over Lewiston.
Looked like that was by design that time by Whiting, just to try to maybe keep it out of the hands of Moss, keep it out of the hands of Pasquale, not let them create too much. Feel confident with their defensive unit.
Moss looks like he's a little chilly out there.
Yeah.
No sleeves.
They came out a little bit late, too, did Portland, so haven't had too much time to warm up. Not as much time as Lewiston did.
Portland is going into the wind, it looks like here. Moss runs it up the middle, cuts it back upfield to the 45, now cuts it back to midfield, inside Lewiston territory, down to the 47-yard line.
Wow. Boy, you just see it. He's so electric when he gets out into the open field and he's got one or two guys to beat. He's got all of the moves, and I'll tell you, it looked to me like he had a lane on the outside, but Hunter Landry really did a nice job sealing him off with his outside shoulder, forcing him back to the middle of the football field and able to bring him down.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Handoff, Elowich. He's going to find some yardage. Rips that off down to the 40. Spins it down, keeps going down to the 37, and they'll mark him just shy of the 36-yard line. Another first down for the Portland Bulldogs here to start the second half.
Well, it looked like they had found something that started to work through the middle of their offensive line there late in the second quarter, and it seems like that's what they've stuck with here to start their first series of offensive plays to get going here in this fourth quarter. Christopher Vincent, the 6', 179-pound center, doing a nice job clearing guys out in the middle.
Moss the shotgun. Snap is away. Handed off to Elowich. He breaks one tackle. Can't break the other one. Gains about 2. Nice player there by Connor Kaplinger to wrap up. Mr. Elowich, 2nd and 8. 10:45 remaining in the third quarter. Portland 7, Lewiston nothing.
You know, we talked a lot about the score and the touchdown. We got to keep in mind Quinn Clark, a very capable field goal kicker, certainly going into the wind here, but even a field goal makes this a 2-score game, Matty.
Lewiston, Portland here going to spread it out. Stasium to the near side right. Moss back to pass, at least for the moment. Now he's going to roll out to the right, but there's going to be a holding penalty. Moss runs down inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line, but the back judge threw a holding penalty way back. And now Portland is going to get bit by the yellow flag with 10-12 remaining here in the third quarter.
I mean, how many times have we seen this happen over and over again? Moss is not a guy that needs a whole lot of help on the offensive side in terms of a hold to get him free.
Edward Little now trails Wyndham 14-0 in the third quarter.
Word is the Eagles are doing a nice job rushing the football against that Eddie's defense. Edward Little really up against it.
Be amazing if after all of this, Wyndham and Portland once again. Second and 20. Moss runs off to the right side, inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line, down to the 31-yard line. Make it third and less than 5. Very manageable. Clock ticking. 9:35 remaining in the third quarter.
He's stepping through. He's getting 2-3 steps past that line of scrimmage before any contact is getting onto him. Lewiston did a nice job penetrating that backfield, getting a shoulder on him or at least a hand on him to stop some of that momentum in the first half. But clearly here in the second half, they've done a nice job creating a little bit more space for Moss, and it's been very effective.
3rd and 5 for the Bulldogs. At the Lewiston 31-yard line, they're up 7-0, looking to make it more. Moss runs up the middle and will gain about 1 to the 30. It'll be 4th and 4. Looked like he tried to hop over and was not able to skip far enough.
Just didn't go far.
Wonder if they're going to try to get to the outside here and use that speed advantage. 4th and 4. Ball at the 30-yard line. They got to get down to the 26 for a first down. 7-0, Portland with the lead. 8:35 remaining in the third quarter. Opening drive of the second half here for the Bulldogs. Big possession, a defensive possession here for the Blue Devils. Moss is in the shotgun. Looking back to pass, throws. It's going to be complete. Pasquale was wide open over the middle inside the 20 and down, and he fumbles the football, and it's going to be picked up by the Lewiston Blue Devils inside the 15-yard line. Excellent play by Connor Kaplinger, who picked up the football before it went out of bounds. Looked like Portland was going to convert on a 4th and short, but Pasquale dropped the ball before he hit the ground, and Kaplinger picked it up before it went out of bounds. First down for Lewiston back at the 18-yard line. Huge turnover there for Portland.
It was a crossing route that time by Pasquale coming in behind the linebackers, wide open. Lewiston didn't see him cutting across the formation. Moss did a nice job delivering the football. He just wasn't able to take it all the way down to the ground. And Kaplinger in the right spot at the right time.
Lewiston needs a good drive here. Landry with the football. Runs it up past the 20, down to the 21-yard line. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. It's not a horrific start to the first half, to the second half for Lewiston. You like to see Landry getting the ball.
Well, and right now, not a whole lot of offense in that first half for Portland, but really they are generating some very solid offense here in the second half, and Lewiston with their hands full kind of moving backwards.
Belanger is going to be in at quarterback. Looks like something's going on with Cortez's hand.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on. They'll send a man in motion. That'll be Jackson. Handoff, Poussard, flag down because Poussard moved a little too early.
Yep.
And once again, positive yardage becomes a penalty. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Just can't have it. You can't have it at any point in the field. You definitely can't have it deep in your own territory. Did see Mr. Willis get taken off with his arm in a sling.
Not a good sign for Mr. Willis.
Nope.
7:25 remaining in the third quarter. Portland 7, Lewiston and nothing. Winner of this one faces the winner of Wyndham EL. Wyndham currently leading that one 14-0. That one's over on 92.7 and Sports Time 780. Grant Hartley just got Edward Little on the board. 3:58 remaining in the third quarter. Wyndham 14, Edward Little 6. And then Belanger isn't able to find his footing on that one, and it's going to be third and forever.
So they have trouble on the defensive side and now can't get any offense going. And really right now, Lewiston, their own worst enemy, not necessarily being beat by better technique, but just being beat by themselves.
Belanger back out there at quarterback. 3rd and 17. 7-0 Portland. 6:50 remaining in the third quarter. Belanger rolls out. Looking. Throws. Intercepted. That pass ill-advised for Hunter Landry back at the 10-yard line, and Portland's going to take over at the 6-yard line of Lewiston.
Boy, that's a terrible area to get caught with a football needing to throw it with your back against the end zone. You've got the sideline a yard and a half away from you on the right-hand side. You got 6 or 7 defenders up in your face. Belanger just trying to get it down the field to a blue jersey. Instead, turns the ball over in his own red zone, and now Portland with an exceptional chance to really put this game a little bit more out of the reach of the Blue Devils and make that mountain a little bit more steep to climb.
Devils defense going to have to come up big here. 1st and goal from the 7 for Portland. Moss hands it off. Elowich down to the 1. 2nd and goal.
You can sense that Lewiston's down a little bit. You can sense that they feel like they're just kind of getting overwhelmed, and the mistakes are certainly not helping build any more confidence. And right now, Portland kind of shoving them around.
Moss under center is going to take it himself right up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Not a lot of resistance there, and it's 13-0 Bulldogs with 5:58 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, he walked right in. And offensive line doing a heck of a job up front for the Bulldogs and creating a whole lot of space for Moss. Moss able to just walk in untouched that time, and Clark will try to make this a 14-point game.
Griffin Foley is out there to hold it. Quinn Clark to kick. 13-0 Portland. 5:58 remaining in the third. And the snap is dropped. Foley's going to throw it into the end zone. Incomplete. Portland cashes in on the Belanger interception. 13-0. They lead the Blue Devils. We'll be right back here on the Game of the Week. Welcome back. MBR Game of the Week for the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. MBR Sport on YouTube. Be notified when we go live. Portland leads Lewiston 13-0 here in the third quarter. 5:58 remaining in the third. Lewiston's offense got to find something here pretty shortly.
They got to find it. They got to find it quickly, Matty. It's got to happen.
And then find it again.
Yeah, and keep on finding it, because right now Portland feels like they've got the edge on you, and that's going to make them play with a little bit more of a level of intensity. This will be the last time that the Lewiston has the wind at their back either.
Kick is away. Poussard down the sidelines. It's knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line, and a flag is down. See what that is. I'm going to guess holding a block in the back, unless there is some type of face mask.
I think it's a block in the back, but we'll see. Looked like a guy got shoved down. Yeah, block in the back against Lewiston. So it'll go another good play spoiled by a penalty. Been too many of them. Just unacceptable. You can't have it. You can't come into a semifinal game like this, make this many undisciplined mistakes, and expect to be any closer than a couple of touchdowns.
Belanger still in at quarterback. Hands it off to Poussard. Cuts it back. He backs into the line. Gain about 2. Still time. Definitely not out of reach, but with what you've seen so far tonight from the Lewiston offense, you kind of wonder.
Just haven't had the big plays that Portland has had. Portland's taken bigger swings. They've gotten bigger chunks. Outside of that one big pass play from Cortez to Willis, Lewiston hasn't had a whole heck of a lot of success.
Belanger spreads everybody out. No Willis out there. Belanger back to pass, rolling, throws, incomplete. It's intended for Whiting. 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, stops the clock with the incomplete pass. Didn't look like there was any set on that at all.
I mean, just didn't have room. Didn't have the room for it. Didn't have the lane for it. Still trying to make it happen. That's when taking a risk like that can become very, very problematic. And we've got a false start that was called on Lewiston. That penalty was declined. So Portland at the point now where they don't even want to take the penalties. So that's saying something.
They've had so many. They're just like, no, we're good.
You guys keep that one.
Yeah, it's all you. 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. It's 13-0. Portland with the lead. Back to pass is Belanger. Looking, throws, caught! Up to midfield, down to the 49-yard line. That is Connor Kaplinger. Another big play for the Blue Devils, and that makes it 1st and 10.
Rolling out to his left-hand side was Belanger, and the line kind of tilting towards the left. Portland feeling that pressure leak out to the right-hand side, and Kaplinger doing a nice job rolling to the weak side. Belanger found him in open space, and a nice first down there by the Blue Devils, almost into Portland territory.
Put Landry in motion. Belanger will take it himself. Beautiful block by Poussard to spring Belanger. He skips out of bounds at the 46-yard line. 4:29 remaining in the third quarter. Clock stopped.
Sideline to sideline. How about that? Belanger going out on the far sideline, having to run all the way back over to the near sideline to get the play call, and then back to the middle of the football field. He has been all over the field. Special teams, wide receiver, signal caller. Nice effort here tonight from the senior.
End of the third quarter over at Walton Field. Edward Little has it 4th and 3 at the Wyndham 11. 2nd and 6 here. Belanger hands it off to Landry. He cuts it upfield inside the 45 and up to the 43-yard line. Make it 3rd and 3. 4:20 remaining in the third quarter. Blue Devils down 13-0 to the Bulldogs.
And you can see a lot of these guys on the Bulldog Club just trying to strip the football loose or rip it loose any way that they can.
Belanger and the Blue Devils break the huddle. 3:55 remaining in the first half. 3rd and 3. Poussard with it, runs it up the middle, carries a couple of tacklers, and he's going to keep churning forward. He gets to the 40-yard line. That was a huge individual effort there by Poussard. Inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line. Stops the clock at 3:44 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a case right there where Garrett Poussard wanted that first down more than the 3 guys trying to tackle him wanted to prevent him from getting it. Just a very, very strong-willed kid and Nice effort by him to push forward and get a fresh set of downs for the Blue Devils.
Belanger in the shotgun back at the 45-yard line. 1st and 10. Belanger is going to run it. Stays going to pitch the option to Poussard. Inside the 30 and down to the 29-yard line, and another flag.
Yeah.
And I believe that's going to be on Kaplinger.
Yep.
And I don't even think it was needed.
No, it absolutely wasn't needed. We both saw it. I mean, we saw it from, it's on the far side of the football field, and we saw it from all the way up here in the booth just because it happened right as Poussard ran by. And the problem is that is a beautifully executed play. Belanger does a nice job getting to the edge, getting that defensive end to commit on the football, and then pitching it out to Poussard, giving him an open lane. Doesn't need to hold for the help. It was Belanger that sprung him free with his fake.
So a big running play on 1st down instead becomes 1st and 14 with 3:19 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Portland leading Lewiston 13-0 here on the game of the week. Matt Belt with Steve Linden here at Garcelon Field on Bates College.
Edward Little did not convert on that 4th and 3 turnover on downs.
Portland with an offsides. That'll make it 1st and 9. You want to make a mistake, I'll make a mistake.
You make one, I'll make one?
Snip, snap.
Yeah.
Snip, snap. Snip, snap.
Probably not how either coach would want this one to go down.
Ball. Max Bell was stopped 1 yard shy of the 1st down. Wyndham ball at the 9. Belanger is going to run the option himself. This time he's going to keep it inside the 30. He's going to keep trucking down to the 30-yard line, maybe to the 29. Little rugby scrum to the 28-yard line. Make it the 27. Brock Belanger taking everybody down. Helmet's gone. Lewiston down 13-0, getting some fire from Brock Belanger, and he's going to come out for a play.
Yeah, this Blue Devil football club really wants to make it a point that they're not going anywhere. They're still just as tough and just as strong. And boy, what a heck of an effort that time by the senior Belanger to keep the pile moving.
Wonder if Poussard's going to take it here on the Wildcat. I feel like that's a pretty safe assumption here.
Yep.
Poussard gets a low snap. He's going to run it himself. Tries to bounce it to the outside. Gains 1. Did well to do that. 2nd and 9.
Belanger had to come out just because his helmet popped off.
That is the rule.
Got to come out for that one play. So Lewiston trying to adapt that time, and you know what? Pick up a yard and a half. Probably okay with that. Inside of 2 minutes here, still have the wind at their back.
Belanger back at the 30-yard line. Rolling with it to the left. Can keep it himself. Cuts it back inside the 35-yard line. Now to the 33. Markham at the 32-yard line. Gain of about 3. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Belanger that time had a couple of blockers out in front of him. It was Poussard, and really running him down, and stayed right off of his back end until Poussard cut up the field. Able to get a couple of yards behind him anyway. Very patient runner is Belanger.
Belanger back inside the 30. Going to roll out to pass it. That's going to be short, incomplete. Had Kaplinger wide open down to the 5. At least that's what Kaplinger thought. Now 4th and 6. Fourth and 6. 48 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. 13-0 Portland over Lewiston. I'm glad your sideline guy is putting information out there.
Trying.
Big turnover there as Wyndham has turned the ball over to Edward Littleover on that one, and now you get a flag here. Delay a game. 4th and 11. I just can't have this stuff right now.
It's inexcusable, Manny. I mean, it's stuff that you don't want to see in week 1, and you definitely don't want to see it in week 2 of the playoffs.
Levitt has finally taken a lead, 6-0 on Tim Albert's 11-yard touchdown run.
Ooh. Got to go to the air here.
4th and 11 under 40 seconds remaining. Belanger at quarterback. Poussard, Landry next to him. Low snap, picks it up. Looking, rolling out. Now he's under pressure. He's going to have to roll out to his left. Rolls out to his left again. Gets inside the 30 to the 20. Gets out and stays inbounds down to the 16-yard line. And I think he may have just enough for the first down, Steve. They're going to have to call out the measurement. That should be a first down. By the looks of it. They're going to call out the measurement, and of course it's on the complete opposite side of the field.
So we had one that couldn't be a shorter measurement earlier. We have one that couldn't be a further measurement.
Correct.
Okay.
Huge play here on 4th and 11. That was all Belanger as the Portland secondary really stopped anything from being available downfield. Looked like the marker is just shy of the 11-yard line, and it looks like that's about where he went out. Let the crowd tell you. First down, Blue Devils. 13-0 Portland. 20 seconds remaining in the third. Is that finally the play that continues it for Lewiston? They're hanging on by their fingernails.
But I'll tell you what, that was a busted play that time too. And Belanger rolling out to the weak-hand side. Got a couple of blocks as he worked backwards against that grain. And really made a nice effort diving for the first down to finish off that play. Had a couple of big runs on this drive. Really no give up in Brock Belanger.
That'll be Whiting who gets the ball on the sweep. He runs it around the outside and gets inside the 10 down to the 9. More importantly, no flags. That's going to be the final play of the third quarter. The Lewiston Blue Devils are driving. They're down 13-0. They got time to pull a comeback. Could the Bulldogs hold them off? You're going to have to stay tuned and find out. It's the game of the week.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Welcome back. Lewiston, Portland, getting ready to start the fourth quarter here on the MBR Game of the Week from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. MBR Sport on YouTube. Get notified when we go live on the video side of things. On the radio side of things, it's the CMCC Ham and Lumber Game of the Week on Maine's Big Z 105.5 AM 1240. 13-0 Portland with the lead. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Lewiston driving. Ball is at the 11-yard line of Portland, 2nd and 3. Belanger hands it off. Poussard is going to have to try to bounce it to the outside and gain nothing. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Interesting cutback that time by Poussard. Had a lane going right up the middle of the football field. Kind of danced around a little bit, waited for another block to come in. That just congested the space too much. Didn't have anywhere to go.
Belanger back at the 15-yard line. Whiting in motion. Belanger's going to run it himself to the 10 and down to the 9. And it's going to be 4th and 3.
No room for it whatsoever here. You're going to have to go for the touchdown here. There's no real need to try to kick a field goal. It's not going to help you whatsoever. So definitely 4-down territory here for the Blue Devils. And you got to imagine Belanger, whether or not he tries to throw or run it, my guess is he's going to want to trust nobody but himself here to try to get this one done. So
4th
delay
and
a
3.
game. Oh.
4th and 3. They just miss it. Poussard's going to get it inside the 5. Touchdown, Blue Devils. No flags. Welcome back, Lewiston Blue Devils.
Just inside of the 5 count from the delay of game. Belanger able to get the call off, hand off to Poussard, and a design cutback run to the right-hand side. Nice job blocking over on the right by Keegan Voss. 6'2", 225-pound right guard, clearing out a spot for Poussard to bump into that end zone. And now Lewiston able to bring it within a single score of the Bulldogs.
.11:06 remaining in the 4th quarter, 13-6 Portland. Whiting will kick. Belanger will hold. Kick is up. Kick is no good, off to the left. 11:06 remaining in the 4th, 13-6 Portland over Lewiston. We'll be back. Game of the week.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedic.
Welcome back. Game of the week. MBR Sport on YouTube. Get notified when we go live. Lewiston gets into the end zone. Garrett Poussard with a touchdown run, 13-6. Lewiston will kick it off. Whiting will kick it off at the 40. Wind now seems to have switched a little bit. Seems to be a swirling wind at this point, would you say?
Lovely. Yeah, it's definitely not a single direction. We've got a little vornatic activity out there. Not sure what the confusion is there on the kickoff.
Well, the ball gets, blew away for a second. A little squibba. Down inside the 20, will be picked up at the 6 by Stasium. He's going to squirt it back out to the 25, cuts it back inside, down to the 27-yard line, out of bounds. Close to out of bounds. 10:58 remaining in the 4th quarter, 13-6 Portland. Big drive here for the Lewiston defense.
You got to figure Lewiston held on to that football for the tail end of that 3rd quarter, held it going into the 4th quarter because they got the ball originally on their side of the football field, moving right to left, swapped directions. It's been a while since the offensive unit's been out there for Portland. We'll see whether or not they can get back into the rhythm they had to put them up 2 scores.
First and 10. Moss back inside the 25-yard line. He'll actually stand up to the 25-yard line. Elowich next to him. Handoff, Elowich. He's going to bust it upfield. Up past the 35 to the 36-yard line. 2nd and 2. Big chunk on first down there for the Bulldogs. Not what you want to see if you're a Blue Devils fan.
Really done a much better job rushing the football in the second half has the Bulldogs, and they just seem to have found a blocking scheme that's working very well for them up front, able to seal off that outside linebacker, and when they do that, it's 4 or 5 yards every single time, and Elowich happened to get the call that time.
Moss back inside the 35-yard line. Handoff Elowich, first down, up past the 40 to the 44-yard line. Gain of 7. First down for the Bulldogs. Up 7.
Both teams still have their full set of timeouts here, and you got to imagine Portland comfortable playing with this lead, especially when they're able to move the ball offensively like they have been here on this drive, Matty.
Still think for Lewiston to win this game, their defense might have to run one back.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
That big turnover like Portland had, Portland benefited off of that turnover directly.
Moss runs it himself off the right side. Now he's going to cut it back upfield, cuts it back, and he's going to get out to the 49-yard line. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. And if you're Portland right now, you're gaining 4 yards of carry. Things are going all right.
Yeah, it wasn't what you were able to do in much of the first half of this football game, but really in this second half, it's working and it's working well. You got to stick with what is working that well for you. And right now, a lot of Teron Moss and a whole lot of this Bulldogs rushing offense.
Moss busted upfield. He beat the blitz and then he tripped over. Did he trip over his own feet or did he trip over an official?
I don't know. I don't know what he.
He went down inside the 25-yard line, and he had the touchdown.
His reaction makes me think he tripped over his own foot. Like we'd have to see the high-def video replay.
Lost his footing inside the 25. Looked like a sure Portland touchdown. Instead, it's 1st and 10. 9-10 remaining in the fourth quarter. Portland leads 13-6. New life for Lewiston. Lewiston just keeps hanging around.
Boy, that looked like it might have been pushed right out of reach if he goes into that end zone. But instead, Lewiston with another chance.
Portland's offensive line really winning the battle on the lines here in the fourth quarter, especially on this drive. Moss is going to take a timeout. Jim Hartman is unimpressed with something, anyways. Let's put. There was a lot of there was a little holler in there.
Quite clearly unhappy.
We'll keep it right here. 13-6. Portland with a lead. 8:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter on the game of the week. Anything fun happening over at Edward Little?
I don't see anything fun happening. I believe. 7:41 remain. QB keeper 2-point conversion, no good. 12-14. Wyndham still ahead of Edward Little, 14-12. That's what I got. 7:41 to go, and his phone is at 2%. So,
all right. I'm seeing some stuff here from the Twitter, so things are happening. Wyndham starts at their own 45.
It'll keep us in contact for sure.
That one's on 92.7 Sports Time 780. We'll have video highlights for you after that one as well. Just follow MBR Radio on Twitter. 1st and 10, 8:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Portland leads 13-6 on the game of the week. Moss, shotgun, runs it, cuts it back inside the 20, breaks a tackle to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Is he going to get caught this time? No. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Designed to go to the left-hand side, but Moss had a bunch of Blue Devils in his face, cut it back against the right-hand side, and it's classic over-pursuit. When you have a guy like that, if you don't stay in your lane and you switch to the side of the football field that he goes to, if he reverses it like he did there, and you're in a foot race with Teron Moss to the pylon, he's going to win most of those races.
Clark out to kick it, Foley out to hold. Wind, still a thing. Kick is up. Kick is good. Not a thing for Quinn Clark, apparently. 20-6 here in the fourth quarter. Portland leads Lewiston, 8:38 remaining. It is the game of the week. We will be right back.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Welcome back. MBR Game of the Week from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. MBR Sport on YouTube. Get notified whenever we go live. 20-6. Portland with the lead over Lewiston. 8:38 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A windy night here at Garcelon Field. Lewiston coming off of a bye week. Looking not to have another one, but things not looking great right now.
Yeah, nobody wants the bye week anymore. Because it's a good bye week, isn't it?
Right, yes. Kick is away. Fielded by Poussard, back at the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, out to the 45-yard line. 8:31 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Lewiston will take over at their own 45-yard line, down by 14.
And no time to develop any offense. It's time to get down the football field and try to score. You got to press it a little bit. Might have to get out of characteristic here, but you know what? You're down 14 points, so you got to reach, and you got to reach deep.
Tanner Cortez has been injured in this one. Brock Belanger in at quarterback for the Blue Devils. Official finally ready to let them play it. Cody Poisson Bragdon snaps it back to Belanger, looking, throws, complete, out inside the 50 and down to the 46-yard line. That is number 80, Lucas Nichols, who's in there now for the injured Willis.
Off coverage that time on Nichols, and really nice job by Belanger to get the ball out to him. Almost able to pick up a first down. They had Whiting lined up at the wing position as well, and he was open down the field too. So Portland playing some relaxed secondary, and there is offense out there down the field for Belanger and the Blue Devils.
Still time. Good score quick. The defense going to have to pick it up. Catch is made to Kaplinger inside the 40 and down to the 39-yard line. Stops the clock because they moved the chain. 7:47 remaining in the fourth quarter. First down, Lewiston.
Hey, this game has had a lot of swings, Matty. It seems, Lewiston seems to be having the hot hand. Portland has the hot hand. And neither has been consistent for more than a series of plays, 5 or 6 anyway. Lewiston riding it now.
Poussard going to run the football. 45 and out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Stops the clock with 7:27 remaining in the fourth quarter, and it'll be 2nd and 1. Actually, they're going to mark him out. Guess I'll mark him out at the 33, so it'll be 2nd and... No? Okay, 2nd and 3. We'll call 2nd and 2. That was an 8-yard gain there.
Yep.
I was relying on the dial-it-down marker guy to be on the right spot there.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Yeah, not so much. Belanger rolls out to his left. Pass is incomplete. He had no balance on that, and his receiver wasn't set yet either. Probably would have been better off just running that off to the left.
Yep, keep running it. Don't throw it.
Right.
To try to get out to the edge, chances are he would have been able to pick up a couple of yards. Been darn close.
Maybe head right to the sidelines.
Yeah, yeah.
Get that first down. So that's 3rd and 2. 4 down territory here for the Bulldogs. Down 14. 7:22 remaining in the fourth quarter. Blue Devils looking to move on. Bulldogs looking to continue their Cinderella story here as the greatest 6th seed of all time.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Belanger's going to run it up the middle himself, and he's going to get the first down up to the 25-yard line. Actually to the 26. That'll stop the clock with 7:16 remaining in the fourth quarter while they move the chains.
Great play call there. Love it. Love the idea of keeping Belanger in between the tackles there and really just going for that first down marker. Reset those chains. Keep this drive alive.
Belanger in the shotgun, back at the 31-yard line. Clock ticking, 6:50 remaining in the fourth quarter. Belanger looking into the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. Kaplinger went up with it with one hand. Belanger underthrew it, which is exactly what you would want to do in that situation because Kaplinger may have had it. Instead, he went up with the one hand instead of the two, and
Came down with nothing.
Yeah, I think he put it in the best spot possible for Kaplinger to go up and actually try to make a play on that football. Unfortunately, just not able to do it.
Belanger back at the 31-yard line. Second and 10. Rolls out to his left, and that's going to be caught. Whiting inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. 3rd and 3. Clock never started. Clock never started. Clock never started. Still hasn't started. Now it's starting. Portland wants to know what happened. Not a lot they can do there. Now they'll stop the clock to decide what they should do. Third and 3.
Not sure how they decide that.
Not sure how you just randomly do that. Portland's going to be upset, but 20-6 here. Got a little stoppage. Officials talking to the coaches.
I think everybody's happy. I think we're all okay.
Well, we'll see in a moment.
And
Gardner beat Levitt 7-6. First win over the Hornets for the Tigers since 2007. Well then.
Wow, I did not see that coming.
Lawrence knocks off Brunswick 17-12. Final in that one.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that's a Brunswick football team that I expect huge things out of in the next couple of years. A down year for them, but they're going to respond.
Poussard runs it up the middle. He's going to take tacklers all the way down to the 15-yard line for a first down. Stops the clock with 6 minutes remaining.
Well, it hasn't stopped the clock yet.
Oh, I guess they didn't mark him. Stop the clock. There we go. 5:52 remaining in the fourth quarter. I guess that makes up for it now. We're even.
I'm trying to be inconspicuous because we're in plain view of said clock man.
Yeah, I know. Just double checking. Just making sure. Trying to say it quietly. Under my breath, if you will. That will be Whiting. He's going to take it down to the 10. Excuse me, that was Belanger. Pardon me. Gain of 3. 2nd and 7. 20-6. 5:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Lewiston's got to get moving.
I've been impressed with how well they've been able to move the ball passing. I mean, Belanger's done a nice job distributing the ball over the football field. Surprised they haven't gone back to the pass here. They're within striking distance yet again.
Belanger hands it off. Poussard, he's going to bounce it to the 10, to the 5, and out of bounds at the 7. Stops the clock, 4:58 remaining in the fourth quarter. Going to be just shy of a first down. Got to get to the 5 for a first. He's going to be marked out at the 6. Be 3rd and 1.
Boy, a lot of options here for Lewiston. They've had some success at this down and distance all night long against this Portland defense, and Coach Nicholas got a couple of different options that he can go to here. My guess is put it back in the hands of 28.
Belanger's going to keep it himself. He's going to run it to the inside the 5 and down to the 3. That'll stop the clock. Stops the clock. Stops the clock on a first down. 4:44 remaining in the fourth quarter. There. It was heard.
He's listening to you.
Is he? That's funny. 20-6. Officials will move the chains. It'll be 1st and goal for Lewiston at the 3-yard line. Belanger gets a play call. Clock ticking. 4:40 remaining in the fourth. 20-6 Portland. Lewiston has how many timeouts left? 3 still?
Lewiston has all 3 timeouts. Portland only 2.
Poussard up the middle is not going to score. Going to have to get moving.
Good drive here so far for Lewiston, but
be a great time for that option play that they ran earlier when Kaplinger had that big hold. But I think that's exactly the type of thing that you could do here, where you could bring Belanger to the edge, get that end to commit, and then have him pitch it out for an easy score. Use the long side of the field, Matty. We see time and time again high school teams use the short side of the field, go rushing on the side of the field that the ball is on.
Handoff, Poussard, again up the middle, individual effort just to get it back to the 5. He'll lose yardage. It's 3rd and goal from the 5, and Lewiston is running out of time.
I don't like it. I think you can get a lot more creative.
And now you're going to burn a timeout. Lewiston takes a timeout with 3:34 remaining in the 4th quarter, down 14. And you got to stop that clock to get the ball back.
You just got to have better clock awareness. That's what it comes down to. You can't be putting yourself in this position where you're not prepared, you're not ready. You got to know what the situation is. You got to know what your down and distance is. You got to know what's expected.
Falmouth leads Kennebunk 32-20. Cape Elizabeth beats Freiburg 14-0. So Cape will host Gardner next week. Edward Little's at their own 39-yard line. They're down 14-12 to Wyndham with 51 seconds left.
Wow. Crazy.
And no kicker, if I remember correctly, if I heard.
Yeah, not an established one.
Interested to see what happens there. Winner of this one will face the winner of that one. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be Portland. If all holds, we'd be in Wyndham next Friday night. And I don't have to worry about going to Levitt next week because Levitt out of the playoffs, courtesy of Gardner.
So if you're out there and you own a snowmobile suit company and you'd like to outfit us for next week,
yes, please.
We will gladly be interested.
Belanger hands it off. Poussard on the option. Up the middle. Touchdown. Blue Devils. Good play coming out of the timeout. 3:30 remaining in the 4th quarter. 20-12. Portland with the lead over Lewiston. Now the all-important extra point.
Love the
or
effort.
2.
Love the effort. Love the effort here from the Blue Devils football club. Just not giving up. Playing this game. It's been a tough game for them. They've really shot themselves in the foot a bunch of times. Sticking through it there and able to put another 6 points on the board in this to bring it within 7.
Snap down, kick up. Kick is good. 20-13. Portland with a lead over Lewiston. 3:30 remaining in the 4th quarter. Can the Blue Devils get the ball back and tie it up? We'll have to find out. We'll be right back.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedic.
MBR Game of the Week. Apparently not our camera person, which is good news.
Yeah, it seems like he's holding steady up there.
3:30 remaining in the 4th quarter, 20-13. Portland with a lead over Lewiston. Lewiston's going to have to kick this off. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. Moss and the Portland offense has been doing all right. They're going to kick this one off, and it's going to go out of bounds. They were trying to kick it to a spot where nobody was going to be because there was a late arriving Portland Bulldog player onto the field, and unfortunately it trickled out of bounds. Good job, good effort, but not going to do anything but give Portland good field position with 3:30 remaining in the 4th. Does not take any time off the clock, however.
No time off the clock. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining here. We've talked about this a lot this year, Matty. If you're Portland in this situation, you can't play not to lose. You can't play to try to protect this victory. You've got to go down and try to score some points. If you're Lewiston, you've got to dig in and see if you can't actually rip across, see if you can't force a turnover.
Pick 6 for Wyndham. 23 seconds left. Eagles are going to defeat Edward Little 21-12.
Handoff, Elowich. He runs it up past the 40 to the 41-yard line. No timeout taken here by Lewiston, but they're going to have to stop him before he gets that first down marker.
Yeah.
3:16 remaining in the fourth.
Interesting that they don't go to use their timeouts right away. You know, save the most amount of time that you can on the clock here. They're going to wait and see maybe after this down if they can get a stop and then go to burn their timeouts.
Portland hangs on here. We'll be at Wyndham next Friday night. They wanted a timeout, said Moss is going to keep it. He's going to get up past the 40 to the 46-yard line.
First down.
That'll stop the clock with 2:41 and, while they move the chains. And probably a good idea that they hung on to those two timeouts.
Yep.
But now Portland's going to be able to run it down another 25 seconds here.
And they'll take all 25 seconds. I mean, this is going to be very, very wise clock management here. Coach Hartman, very established coach and plenty of experience in situations like this.
Moss in the shotgun back at the 42-yard line. 2:20 remaining in the fourth. Moss hands it off Elowich to the line of scrimmage. Nothing.
Timeout, Lewiston.
That will be a timeout for Lewiston. Stops the clock at 2:11 remaining. Now here, what I'm probably going to do is not take the timeout on second down if you can stop them short quickly, and for no gain or little gain, and then take the timeout on third down if you can stop them. Because either way, they're going to be able to.
Only way.
Winner of this one will move on to face Wyndham next week. Wyndham beat Cheverus last week.
You know, you and I really had a target on that Wyndham football team as a club that we got to see in week one against Cheverus, and we got to see them a few times this year. A team that really played injured a lot of the year, got some guys healthy, got the right guys healthy, and really another team that didn't look like its record showed, but obviously proving talent-wise, taking down the Eddies.
2nd and 10, 2:11 remaining in the fourth quarter. Moss in the shotgun. Runs it off to the right-hand side. Now sends it up the middle. He's going to get stopped at about the 50. And Lewiston's going to take that second timeout with 2:04 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Third
and final timeout.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Second of two they had remaining. I guess is how I wanted to word that.
That's right.
Second of two.
I thought there was a player down, but there wasn't. He got out.
Other scores from around and about. Falmouth still leading Kennebunk 32-20, 7:24 left in that one. Skowhegan leads Brewer 18-13.
Ooh.
Excuse me, that's a final. Skowhegan beat Brewer 18-13.
That is a final. Oh.
Skowhegan Lawrence is going to be your title game. Wells beat Mountain Valley 39-6. Wells Madison next week. Might have that one for you on 100.7. Might have to.
I think there's quite a few people that want to hear that one, Matt.
I believe so. Coach Emerson getting off the field. 3rd and 6. All important 3rd and 6. Moss breaks it up the middle, and he's not going to be stopped this time. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Bulldogs. Portland and Wyndham next week. 50 yards.
Not much you can say about that. That's just just an absolute gut punch right up the middle of the football field. No trickery whatsoever. Hand off to Moss coming out of the timeout. Let's remember that's out of a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Right through the middle of that field and into the end zone. Untouched. No tripping over his feet. No tripping over white lines that time. Quinn Clark going to try to make this a 14-point game. The exodus has begun.
Kick is good by Clark. 27-13 Portland with the lead over Lewiston. 1 minute, 55 seconds remaining in the fourth. We'll be right back.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Welcome back. Portland leading Lewiston 27-13 here on the Game of the Week. Madison beat Winthrop Monmouth 28-14. Have more games for you next week. Number 6 seeded Bulldogs went on the road last week, beat Oxford Hills. They've beaten Lewiston for the second time this year. Next week, rematch with Wyndham in a game that was very controversial last time. Controversial finish. Some will say that Portland won that game.
One official says they didn't.
Correct. Poussard with the football back at the 30 and out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Minute 48 remaining in the fourth. No timeouts for Lewiston. They're down 14. We'll take a Herculean effort here for the Blue Devils.
Hey, you got to go out and take a crack. You certainly are not going to get a chance to get back in this game if you don't try. We've seen crazier things. We certainly have. Is it likely? No. Is it impossible? Absolutely not.
Lewiston lost Willis and Cortez to injuries earlier. How that changed their game plan? Quite a bit in terms of the downfield passing game. Belanger back to pass. Screen pass. Poussard up the middle. Keeps his footing. And he's going to get past midfield into Portland territory and out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Actually, the 43-yard line. Stops the clock with a minute 37 remaining in the fourth. Still time, but you're going to have to score it quick, get an onside kick, and score again.
You got to. Why not take a shot down the field? What have you got to lose at this point, Matty? Not a whole heck of a lot.
Or was that screen pass earlier in the game?
Wow. I'm surprised they didn't get called for an illegal man downfield.
Well, they probably would have if they'd done it earlier in the game. So. Belanger, pass. That is Kaplinger, and they're going to say that he was in bounds.
Sure.
No huddle here for the Blue Devils. Minute 10, clock ticking. Lewiston down 14. Snap is low to Belanger. Looks back, throws it deep, and that's going to be intercepted. Ben Stasium down at the 10-yard line with a minute 2 remaining in the fourth quarter, and it's going to take about 3 knees for the Portland Bulldogs to take a trip to the Wyndham campus next week.
Wow. You know, we talked about a lot of the possibilities, Matty, of what we might expect to see out of these two games tonight, whether or not one of these two teams in the Twin Cities, Lewiston or Edward Little, would have an opportunity to advance their position and maybe play for a gold ball down at Fitzpatrick in a couple of weeks. Not going to be the case. Instead, it's going to be one of those local teams, Portland or Wyndham. Be a heck of a game next week.
Snowsuit will be bought.
Yeah, going to need one. Winter hat, get it out.
We're going to finish our video stream season same place we started our video stream season.
How about that?
Weird how that works. Wouldn't have thought that a month ago.
Likely with the same weather. Okay.
Same temperature probably as well. Been a great season for the Lewiston Blue Devils. I don't think a lot of folks expected them to be hosting a playoff game. But I'm sure they're going to look back on this and wish they had done more.
Well, you got a program that's building. It's nice to see the effort that they've put together here this year. It really exceeded a lot of expectations that different teams had for them. And They've got that new facility that's coming. There's a lot of draw to the Blue Devils Football Club, so plenty to hang their hat on. Maybe not happy with the end result, but plenty to be happy about for the Blue Devils.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Your final score, Portland 27, Lewiston 13. We'll be right back on the Game of the Week.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Welcome back. Wrapping it up here at Garcelon Field, 27-13. Portland defeats Lewiston, and they will move on to take on the Wyndham Eagles next week.
Yeah.
Teron Moss, player of the game in this one.
A rematch of a game that we saw come down to a field goal interpretation, I guess is the way that we can frame it, down at Fitzpatrick Stadium earlier this year. And a couple of teams that I think wouldn't mind an opportunity to get back at each other. Teams that have drastically improved since that game. They've changed a lot of what they do from an offensive and defensive standpoint. And it's going to be Taylor Bernier against Teron Moss next week, and we'll have it for you here.
Bernier, Moss, Wyndham, Portland. Rematch of a controversial ending earlier this year. You might want to watch that replay on MBR Sport on YouTube just to see what happened. Chris Hodgkin's back at the studio. I believe it's Chris. Might be Alex. I'm not sure. I didn't ask. Didn't look. Wasn't sure. They did a great job, though. Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate that.
Thanks, Chris.
That was good. That was good. I didn't know. It's terrible. And to Tyler Farnham on the camera. New dad, by the way. Totally awkward, Chris. I totally agree with you. End of this one. Portland 27, Lewiston 13. We'll catch you next week from Wyndham here on the Game of the Week. Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.